All right. We are live. I do believe that we are live with the preseason special of the Sausage Factory. The preseason season 8 special. We're almost on to our 8th season of the show. All you guys out there, let me know if you can hear us coming through loud and clear. We're doing this through StreamYard. And I've done a couple of streams through StreamYard. It's very simple. It's very basic, but it works. So there are a couple of other options out there that we may be looking into too. Or, well, there's other options out there for us. So we'll see. All right. Crystal Lake Counselor 1977. Our old buddy Chris is in the chats. He says we're coming through loud and clear. Audio's good. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Dave. I'm going to hold on a minute, Dave. Let me show you one of the features of this. Oh yeah, best stream out there, boys. There you go. All right. Well, I'm of course your moderator, Pizzal. Joining me tonight, I've got Jay the Stingray. What's up, Stingray?
Hey guys, good to be here. Good to be here as always.
There you go. Let's try that for right now. And with me right now also is Lorne. How's it going, Lorne?
Good evening. I'm good. How are you?
Doing very, very well. We will have some more people joining us here shortly. So we will. I think. Oh my goodness! Here he is. Canada's own Raiho Magnifico.
Finally made it.
What's up, Raiho? Oh, what are we drinking tonight, Raiho?
Whatever was in the fridge. Rickard's Red.
Okay. You just grabbed it. It could have been a bottle of bleach. You're just like, whatever.
Absolutely.
Hard day.
I was getting so fed up with the camera and stuff. I was like, getting drunk.
There you go. It's good to see you, Raiho.
Good to see you guys too.
Yeah, right on, man. Right on. Well, look, it's been a while. It's been like 3 months since our season 7 wrap up.
Yeah.
A lot's been going on. How was your guys' summer? Let me start with Raiho. So, Raiho, I know you've been busy lately. You've had like 3 or 4 kids over the summer?
We had our 3rd kid pretty much the end of May. So my summer, to be honest, I just came here to shoot the shit and drink beer with you guys because I didn't see any movies this summer, I don't think. But yeah, we had a pretty hectic summer, but things are going great. Yeah.
Well, congratulations on the new bundle of joy.
Yep. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yeah. I can imagine not having a whole lot of free time to really. I'd say you barely have enough free time to use the bathroom. So
that happens some days.
Yeah. So, but yeah, good to see you, man.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Lauren, how was your summer?
Warm.
See any good movies?
I saw a lot of. I saw a lot of movies. I saw a few good films, but I saw a lot of movies over summer.
Let's talk about the good ones.
Absolutely. That's a short conversation. I really liked Ready or Not.
Okay.
A lot. I liked Villains quite a lot. What else? I'm looking over my list. Liked Crawl. Nothing earth-shattering. There's an Indian movie called Koliyather Kalam, which I liked quite a lot, which is an old-school slasher film. It takes forever to get started, but once it does, it pretty much is everything you want from the last 20 minutes of a slasher film, stretched out over about an hour. I like the Godzilla film that came out this year. And then below that, there's things that were okay, which we'll, I'm sure, get to. And then below that, there was things that were pretty awful. To the bottom of the basement, which is, of course, The Dead Don't Die, which is like, just south of dental surgery.
Well, that is, I believe that's available now on like video on demand and stuff. So I may have to check that out.
I think I saw that. So the other day, I hit up Walmart. I was gonna buy a couple of horror flicks, and that was everywhere already.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think I even saw T-shirts. I was like, are they really pimping this one out? I assumed it was awful, but.
Oh, you do not have any idea.
I saw someone posted that was the best horror comedy ever. When they were talking about
is it supposed to be a comedy?
Dead was released on this day 27 years ago or something.
I'm really assuming that The Dead Don't Die was made to just piss people off. Because that's the
Well,
only.
27 years ago. It would have been like 13, 14 years ago.
Yeah. Something like that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's not good.
You saw it, Jay.
Yeah, I did, and yeah,
What-
it's not good.
Were you baffled about like that it was really a film? Because it really does not feel like a real movie.
I'm actually tempted to watch it again because it's, oh man, it's so bad. It's really worth another viewing, I think.
It's bad. And in the chat, Steve is mentioning Haunt, which we'll get into at some other point, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Sorry, I'm typing here,
He's writing his resume.
writing my
Haven't
resume
seen-
up.
Haven't
Yeah.
seen Haunt yet.
I have seen Haunt, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's some questionable decisions toward the end, but up into that third act, it was really good, really good. I would highly recommend it for anybody's, Halloween night horror marathons.
I've been scrambling for a good film to talk about, because I know you're probably going to ask me that soon, and I'm having trouble here. Having trouble finding one.
Well, you should definitely put Haunt on your list. Put Haunt
Is that
on
on
your list.
like on demand? Anywhere?
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
It's solid. I didn't enjoy it quite as much as Piz did, but it is a solid film. The last act is problematic for me.
There are some questionable decisions made in the last act, but up to that point, it was really good. Stone Gassman's joined us. Stone, all the way in New York. What's up? I think he's frozen.
I think he's frozen.
He's
frozen.
on the wrong side of the Hudson. That's the problem.
What's up, Stone?
Stone, you there, man? I think Stone may be having some technical issues. We'll come back to Stone. Yeah, he's gone. Let's see. Any other summer adventures for you guys?
I got to meet Pizzo. That was a good time.
Yeah, you guys both did. And I was actually at Niagara Falls not long ago, so I was kind of close to Canada.
Wow.
You were right on the other side.
I was right there. I could have thrown a rock over. Well, no, probably not. That'd been a pretty good throw, but I was pretty close.
That's an act of war in our country.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
They
but
threw a rock, eh?
where's the threat? What's the war with Canada even look like?
I don't know. We'd probably just give you gifts and
Yeah,
Would we need a passport to go to? I guess
like
we got all this
That's
maple
the
syrup,
war.
eh?
well, you don't need one as long as you've got one of the new driver's licenses that has like the chip or whatever in it.
Cool.
But see, Kentucky's not forced us all to switch over to that yet, so couldn't get over.
I
would-
renew my passport.
I would have liked to have walked over just to say like, hey, I was in Canada for a little while at least. You know what I mean? So, but didn't happen. I was close though. But yeah, I got to meet Jay the Stingray back in. When was that, Stingray? That was in the middle of this. That was in the heat of the summer.
No, man.
That was like July or something. It was very hot, as I recall.
Yeah. So, I never thought it would have happened that way. You coming to my state. I always thought it would be like at a horror convention or something.
But yeah, that was when I was on my way down to Texas to take a look at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre shooting locations, which was really freaking cool. Cool. But yeah, got to hang out with Stingray, and good time hanging out with Stingray. And over Friday the 13th, I actually got to hang out with Lauren. Went up to Camp Nobi Bosco for the 40th anniversary mega tour of the camp and all that fun stuff, and got to meet Lauren, and yeah, so good times. I had a pretty darn good summer now that I think back over it. It was pretty eventful.
Yeah. I was like mad jelly looking at all, because I was following you and all these other people going to Nobi Bosco, and even just going to the diner and things like that, because there was so much stuff seemed like going on, even if you didn't go to the actual camp. Like, it just looks so cool.
You're
It's like
surrounded
here
by
they are, they're
people.
fighting over the rights for this movie, and look at the strength it has right now. That's just like,
Yeah.
somebody just make a deal and cut each other some big checks and let's move on.
Yeah,
Anyway.
exactly. Yeah, because I mean, there were 400 people there on Friday the 13th, and then the next day, I think they said they had approximately 300. So I mean, 700 people over the course of 2 days.
Yeah,
that was pretty epic.
Yeah,
but really good time, and that's how they're going to do it. I think going forward, just the big tours. The big, the tour.
How does that little diner like support like that kind of input? You just in and out like.
Well, they serve you pretty quick. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they serve you pretty quick.
Yeah. So I figured it had to be because seeing the pictures of the place, how many people can sit in it?
Not a whole lot.
Yeah,
not a whole lot.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But it pretty good food. It's very nostalgic because it looks pretty much exactly the same as it did. So good time. Cool. I remember as we were leaving, I asked one of the waitresses, I was like, "Can I have a placemat, just like a paper generic placemat?" And she looked at me like, literally, she went,
"Yeah,
yeah."
I'd be stealing one of those menus.
Yeah, I thought about
the menu,
it.
I tried to steal the menus that were from the age of the film because they had them until about like 8 years
seriously?
ago. The yellow menus that are in the movie, yeah. But unfortunately, I just missed them. They threw them all out.
Oh, okay, that was foolish.
That's
on eBay.
No, but the whole town didn't acknowledge the movie for many, many, many years. Only in the last few years. But yeah, they would be pretty huge in the collectible market.
Yeah, not until it was financially viable for them to acknowledge the films.
Yeah, but they had special menus. Then when we were there, like the Steve Christie special and like the slaughtered camp counselor and it was like the crazy Ralph hot dog and just all this crazy stuff. I should have stole one of those, but
I think they probably had them on lockdown.
They may have. I don't know.
Yeah.
Next year, this time, Victor Miller's going to want to check for all that.
Oh yeah, big time.
Let's see. I believe we've got Christian Hanna from the Christian Hanna YouTube channel. What's up, Christian?
Hey, what's up?
How you doing, man?
I'm here. Sorry for my tardiness, man. Good though. I'm a right side of the dirt. Can't complain.
There you go. There you go. And I believe Stone is back with us on a different device. Stone, or can you see us and hear us?
Yes, I can. I do apologize for my tardiness as well. As somebody who served 8 years in the military, I'm ashamed of myself. I apologize, but I'm here, and I'm glad I made it.
Okay. Raiho, give him some Arlie Ermy correction. No, that's okay. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I was about to, but then I realized I'd probably wake my kids.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I like you. I'll take you home and... Oh, no.
But Christian, so we were talking about our what we did over the summer, and did you guys do anything interesting over the summer? See any good movies? Go on any adventures?
No. Honestly,
not really.
Man, it went by so fast. I can't really even tell you anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it gets worse as I get older too. I don't know, man. I don't know. I really couldn't tell you. Just the usual, eat, sleep, and work.
Eat, sleep, and work. There you go. What about? Did you see any good movies over the summer?
Honestly, Piz, probably just older cult classic movies that I just was, digging up and trying to find. As far as theater stuff, I don't think so, man. Like it takes a lot for me to get out to the theater nowadays. So maybe something, but nothing off the top of my head.
Mm-hmm.
I think before I saw It 2, the last movie I went to the theater to see was Halloween.
Oh, wow.
No. I saw Godzilla, King of the Monsters. So, yeah, I guess that is my summer movie I saw. So.
I will take big breaks like that from the theater too, man. I have developed like a social anxiety with the movie going experience. Unless it's like a matinee, I don't even want to go. I don't even want to go.
We have this great,
and that's what we do, matinee it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We have like a nice small theater here, so I would go every chance I could if I could get out, because you go like even on a weekend night to like the big movie, and there's plenty of seats. Like it's just kind of they do a decent business, I guess. They're still open, but I can understand when you go to the big theaters and it's like 10 screens of the new movie and like there's a million people there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I've gotten I've said this before, but I'm so spoiled by it. There's these really awesome theaters, you know, within about an hour's drive of me, that have like, you know, the big wide leather recliner seats and just like, it's so good to
I
spread
want
out.
that so bad. We don't have
Oh.
like I see like promos from a lot of the theaters in the States, and they've got these cool like drinks, like alcoholic drinks that like are themed with the movie. So you can go see it like Chapter 2 and get like this crazy Pennywise like cocktail and stuff like that. And I'm just like, I've seen pictures of everybody sitting in a leather. I'm just like, fuck, we got nothing, man. We got none of that. We got overpriced popcorn and that's it.
Yeah. But now I gotta
Hey.
warn you though. Once you start with the recliner seats, it's so hard to go back.
You can't go back. Yeah,
You
I figured that
cannot
was
go
the truth.
Amen
Not
to
go
that.
back.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Stone, and Stone is you know, Stone is somebody who's going to become a regular on the Sausage Factory. So
thank you.
yeah. So Stone, what were you up to this summer? Did you see any good movies? You going any adventures?
Well, I mostly just worked and slept. I mean, as sad as that sounds, but I live and work in New York, and it's just chaos up here. And usually, I prefer to stay in my apartment. I'm just introverted like that. But I mean, I still go to the theater every chance I get. I only saw a handful of films this summer, though. I saw Midsummer, which I thought was excellent, but not quite up to Hereditary in my book. I can't explain that right now. I got to see it again, although I'm worried because isn't there? I heard that there was supposed to be a longer cut that was being released. So I'm dreading that almost a little bit. But otherwise, I also love John Wick Chapter 3. That was the number one film I was looking forward to, and I finally saw that. But the most memorable theater experience that I had this summer was when I invited some quote-unquote virgins to see the 1982 canon film The Last American Virgin at the Alamo Drafthouse. They all loved it, and the ending, it got to everybody like I don't know how many of you guys have seen it, but I do. This is just my opinion, but I consider it the best teen movie of the 1980s, with all due respect to John Hughes. So, but they all loved it, and it was just it was a great theatrical experience.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, and I really don't remember very much. We're talking like I was maybe 8-10 years old. So I mean, it's been a long time.
Too young.
Yeah.
Too young almost.
We did get somebody, let me see, who I believe it was Joe Bob Tarhill, who thanked you for your military service, Stone.
Oh yes, thank you very much.
So
you're very welcome.
Yeah. And we'll certainly learn more about Stone as this season progresses. Like I said, he's going to become a regular. So it reminds me of the Replacement song. Here comes a regular. So let's see what's going on out in the chat. We've got Joe Caraluzzo with us tonight. What's up, Joe? How are you doing? Rhonda Toy, how are you doing? Malek, my old buddy Malek is in the chat. Resurrection Reviews is out there. Crystal Lake Counselor 1977, Chris. We mentioned Chris at the beginning of the show. He says, what's going on with the Jason Goes to Hell documentary? They are crowdfunding that, and I think they're going to premiere the crowdfunding campaign like in a few days. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Steak Sauce is with us tonight. What's going on, Steak Sauce? How are you doing? DJ Donnelly. Let's see who else is in the chat. John Avenger. What's up, John Avenger? Dave Shaw. Pierce Nightshade is with us. Steve. Yeah. Dale. Dale says, I thought you people were dead. No,
We are.
no.
Inside. On the inside.
Just inside.
Everywhere
Just on the
that's important, we are dead.
There you go. There you go. And thank you for the kind words, Dave. We appreciate that. Johnny Dean, what's up, Johnny Dean? How are you tonight? Let me ask you guys out there in the chat. What did you guys do this summer? Did you see any good movies or any adventures or anything? Let us know in the chat. The movie cave is with us tonight also. Let me see. Somebody asked a good question. I believe it was my buddy Chris asked us about there was a post by NECA the other day on social media. Somebody asked them, what did you guys have anything in store for the 40th anniversary of Friday the 13th before all the legal crap basically halted them from producing anything new? And their response was, yeah, we had something big, like multiple figures.
Didn't they have a picture of all the stuff in actually in a setting?
Did they?
I thought I saw a picture of like Jason, Mrs. Voorhees, like all the stuff like actually done. Like it must have. I didn't know. Yeah,
that was the that was like the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Jason and Mrs. Yeah, what they said it was going to be was like a diorama with multiple figures, multiple Jason figures, lights, like a setting, like it sounded like it was going to be amazing. And of course, not going to happen. And it's the 40th freaking anniversary. You know what I mean? So, sucks.
What we need is action figures of Victor Miller and Sean Cunningham. We can make them fight.
There we go.
Get Larry Zerner like
probably a lot
typing out the
license that.
We'll have Larry Zerner will wear like the referee outfit.
I'm following him all the time, waiting for him to like, because he drops all the he breaks down everything that happened, like in the court date and all this stuff, and I'm like, this is great.
I know we've had several people in the chat mention the passing of Sid Haig. I mean, he's of course known for the Rob Zombie movies, but this is a guy who's been acting for like how many decades? He was in Spider Baby. I mean, his career goes back decades.
I think he might start in the 50s. If not, he was definitely in like the mid 60s.
Yeah, I think he was 80 years old when he passed away. So I mean, he had a pretty long life and a really long career.
Someone's doing some gardening.
Get out of the house. Get out of the house.
That's my bad. That was Pizzawell's chainsaw.
My chainsaw just has a mind of its own. It just goes off.
Just medication.
Good thing it's family.
There you go.
Volume is taken care of. Sorry.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. But yeah, sad to hear about his passing. Did any of you guys have a chance to meet him at a convention? Stingray, I know you go to conventions. Lauren, you guys have a chance to meet him at a convention?
I never actually went up to a table, but he was always there. I never met him.
What about you, Stingray?
Yeah, I met him twice, and he was one of the first celebrities I ever saw at my first convention, because he was setting up his table there, where the will call was, where the tickets and stuff. So got to kind of peek in and see him, before everything was all set up. And I mean, super nice guy. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say a bad word about the guy. Always took the time to talk about whatever you wanted to. So
yeah,
can't really complain.
Resurrection Reviews said Sid's first project was Jack Hill's The Host in 1960.
There you go. I knew it had to be yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, been in a lot of stuff. So yeah, sad about his passing. I actually bought I don't remember what the convention was, when it was. I bought a House of a Thousand Corpses poster just specifically for him to sign. I took it to the convention, and I think it just came down to money. This was back in the day where I only took X amount of money, and if I spent it, I was done. You know what I mean? So I didn't get him to sign the poster, but I do remember walking by his table, and I remember thinking, he's the very first person I ever saw who had the card swapper like stuck into his cell phone, and I thought, now that's a smart man. He was the very first person I ever saw with that at a convention, so I thought, smart guy.
I got him to sign. I had a one sheet of Devil's Rejects that got recalled because it said "balls out" was a quote from a critic on it, and apparently that was controversial. But yeah, I had him sign that.
Yeah. Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Joe
Bob
would have got past it. Balls out. Come on.
Yeah. Joe Bob Tar Heel also mentions that we lost Eddie Murphy and Ric Ocasek recently as well too. So
Eddie Money, yeah.
Who did I say?
Shit, did
Eddie Murphy.
die?
Oh God, no, not. Oh, sorry. That was
Eddie Murpy's gonna outlive himself.
Well, we just devalued Eddie Money in comparison, did we?
Sorry, I don't know where Eddie Murphy came from. I don't know where Eddie
Charlie
Murphy.
now Eddie.
Really big. They don't matter now.
My bad, Eddie Money. Let's not devalue Eddie Money. Eddie Money had some hits. You know what I mean?
The name.
And hell of a name. Hell of a name. Yeah. And of course, Ric Ocasek from the Cars. I mean, my mom was a huge Cars fan. I remember driving around in her car as a little kid. She had the 8-track and would listen to, like, Who's Gonna Drive You Home. I just remember, that song, just being in this crappy old car, 8-track player, Who's Gonna Drive You Home by the Cars. So yeah. Steve wants to know if we are excited for 3 from Hell. Lauren, I know you're chomping at the bit for 3 from Hell, right?
I'm so chomping at the bit that I had an opportunity to see it twice and I didn't go.
Oh, okay. Okay.
But there's another chance coming up the 14th of October, I believe. I won't be doing that either.
Okay. When is it hitting the VODs?
The 15th.
15th? Okay.
Yeah, it's playing one more date the day before it hits everywhere.
My buddy's like a huge. I wouldn't even call him a zombie fan, but he's just a huge fan of like those movies. So he wants to like watch House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, and then watch 3 from Hell. And I'm just like, I'll do it, but
now I know Christian's actually seen 3 from Hell. What was your thoughts on 3 from Hell, Christian?
Yeah, I'm leery to give my opinion because I'm a fanboy. I love zombies movies myself, so I thought it was kick-ass. It was very not political. There was a lot of F words, and I'm not talking about fuck, a different F word that you definitely can't say. A lot of those. I thought it was badass. It was just sadistic and evil and very 70s. A lot of zombies films are like that. I like those kinds of movies. That's just me. I love a visceral type of movie that's satanic and just evil. So I really liked it. I wouldn't say it's as iconic, I guess, as The Devil's Rejects, because that movie's had some time to age and people really love that movie, as do I. But it's a very welcomed addition for me in the Firefly family movie. So I thought it was really good. I liked it. Really bloody and just nasty. So 5 stars for me.
I want to see it. I'll wait till VOD and I'll go into it with an open mind and an open heart.
I actually got the I survived the 3 from Hell bumper sticker when I went to the theater. So I'm just Piz, that's what'll get me off my butt to go to the theaters to see an original Rob Zombie movie. I really like his House of 1000 and Devil's Rejects. So to see that was nice for me. It was a good experience. So I had a lot of fun.
Well, I'm going to go ahead, since we're talking about Rob Zombie, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just break the news.
There you go, Jay.
October is going to be an October to dismember for the Sausage Factory.
Each is after it.
This is we may not make it through October. There may not be a show after October. Put it that way. We are kicking off season 8 of the Sausage Factory with a lie. I can't even say it. The words won't come out of my mouth. I can't say it. A live commentary for Rob Zombie's Halloween. That's October. That's
So
like
am I the only fan? Like Lauren, come on, baby. Lauren, are you with me? Am I the only fan of Rob Zombie's Halloween?
You are losing the right to call me baby, and I don't care what happens.
Oh my God, Jay, come on, man.
Maybe if we're talking House of a Thousand Corpses as a
Yeah.
guilty pleasure or Devil's Rejects as almost a good film, but when you get to the Halloween movies, no way, man.
I'm all for watching them, man, but I'm not the biggest fan.
I'm actually kind of so. Well, you should continue, Piz, because
okay.
you have a second announcement to make.
We're only scratching the surface of the, not the sore, the cancer at this point. Okay, week 2 of the Sausage Factory, October 10th, live commentary, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Yeah.
I went out and I bought the double pack at Walmart the other day, and I sat in my car for about 15 minutes and just contemplated life. I was like, what am I doing with myself?
You rocked back and forth and had to tell you happy thoughts.
I was actually shocked that they had it. I'm looking through and oh, they don't have it, and I saw it in a bargain bin. I was like,
that's a perfect match.
Now I gotta do it.
Zombies Halloween 2. There was
I actually want to see Halloween 2 a little bit because I've never seen it, because after I watched the first one, I was done. But
I've got to find this meme on my phone and send it to myself so I can screen share it while I'm looking for that. I freely admit I like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. That was what I thought. That's what I thought Rob Zombie's Halloween was going to be like. So I like Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I don't know if I'm going to make it through Rob Zombie's Halloween week 1 to make it to week 2 of Rob Zombie's Halloween.
All right, but Piz, how do you not love I'm Joe Grizzly, bitch?
I mean that if that was in Devil's Rejects 2 or House of a Thousand Corpses 2, sure, that would fit right, but not in a Halloween.
Okay. Look, I'm not going to argue that whatsoever. I think the movie's hilarious. So I mean, I get it. I'm so entertained by it, I mean, okay, Halloween lore and all that, that's fine. I'm just so entertained by them. I think I love all the Ken Farees in his movies and stuff. I just love that stuff. So,
save it for the commentary.
I'm not
you
saying
can champion it.
I'm not saying the movies deserve an award, for God's sakes, but Jesus Christ, I'm entertained by them. So I mean, that's all. But
you want to get a chicken, cut his head off, fuck it, and go,
Because I think it's necessary that all of us dress like characters from the movie for this commentary.
It'll be fucking 6 Michael Myers.
No personal hygiene. Maybe everyone grow out long hair except for me. I'll have to figure out something.
I can do it. Yeah.
Well, I'm already there, pretty much.
I'll just stop showering now.
I'm willing to bet you that you'll all be able to sit through the first Halloween just for Chesterfield. Chesterfield.
I don't
Just
know.
for him, okay? It's worth it.
Okay,
It's
you're
worth
probably
it.
right. 3 words that make you right. License to drive. I can make it through Halloween.
Today's actually Sherry Moon's birthday. She's 49.
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Sherry.
Divorce him.
I love Sherry Moon.
Let me see if I can screen share this. Let me see if I can screen share this. Hold on 1 second. All right, here we go.
I'm gonna have a seizure.
Do you guys are you? Oh, you're not seeing?
You're doing good. Oh,
is it not
Sharing
working?
the wrong
I only see your browser. So, do you have 2 monitors or?
Oh no, it's not. It's not working. I've not figured it out.
Us.
It was supposed to be that. Are you seeing that at all?
All we see is your web browser.
Okay, it's not working then. For some reason, it's not working.
Weird.
Sorry.
Too bad.
It
put it on your phone. And just
it was a good meme. It was a good meme. Hold on. Let me see if I can put it on the phone.
I want to see it now. I'm dying to see it.
It's StreamYard, fix your screen sharing crap, dude. Come on.
Oh.
Classic. Keanu buried alive.
Now that's a movie I need to see. Is whatever that movie was called. I don't remember what that movie was even called.
Man, there's some parts of that movie you definitely need to see.
Oh, I bet. I know exactly what you're talking about too, because it's the lady from Blade Runner 2049. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I pick up what you're putting down. I smell what you're cooking.
Okay, lay that first in the private chat, 'cause I don't know what movie that is.
What is the name of that movie anyway? It's an Eli Roth movie with Keanu Reeves in it.
Knock Knock.
Knock. There it is.
Yeah.
Knock
That's a
Knock.
stupid ass name.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, okay.
To begin with.
All right. So October's not over yet, people. October's not over yet.
That's only 2 weeks.
That's begun.
Week 1, Rob Zombie's Halloween live commentary. Week 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2 live commentary. Week 3, Halloween Resurrection live commentary. Let that sink in.
That may actually be more
Trick or treat,
painful
motherfucker.
than the
I
other
don't
one.
the only good thing about Halloween Resurrection is it's like not even 90 minutes. So that one's over quick. Rob Zombie's Halloween is like what, 2.5 hours or something. So I mean,
Yeah, they're pretty decent in length.
2 hours.
I got nothing to say about Resurrection. That movie, it is bad. I mean,
Is that the worst one in the franchise, in your opinion?
well, it's subjective, man. Because I don't know. Maybe somebody here really likes it, and who am I to say? Like, I don't want to be mad because somebody likes it, but I'm not entertained by Halloween Resurrection at all. But then again, I really don't like that era of movies either.
But we decided to do this because we know that you guys like to watch us suffer. So there you go. And there will probably be some spirits imbibed during those commentaries.
The moose head will be flowing.
The moose. I'm gonna have
the moose is loose.
I'm gonna have to get Raiho to import me some or export me some moose heads.
Yeah, I'll have to ship it in the mail to you somehow.
Yeah.
No, the white horse is going to be loose.
Oh God, that's true. So there you go, guys. That is October for the Sausage Factory. Those live commentaries. There you go, guys.
Are you gonna get Busta Rhymes?
Get what?
Yeah, can we get Rob Zombie to join us?
I don't think he would stay long because he'd be like, oh, this movie sucks. He'd be like,
might be able to get Bill Moseley.
Oh yeah, we might possibly. Yeah, I don't know.
Do you realize if you legitimately got Busta Rhymes to do a live commentary, you would break the internet?
Busta Rhymes. I'm sure Busta Rhymes lives in a reality where Halloween Resurrection was an awesome movie. His performance was perfect, and it's the best Halloween in his world. I'm sure it's the best Halloween.
Like,
so you think he's got the
legitimate
shrine in
Busta
his
Rhymes
house?
fan.
He's got the posters in his house of like the whole. When he brings the ladies in there, he's like, "Hey, check that out, baby! I was in Halloween Resurrection, motherfucker."
Maybe not that far. Maybe not that far, but
I've been like, hey, Busta Bus, pass the dossier, brother.
Now I did watch some of Rob Zombie's interview with Joe Rogan. And now when I listen to Rob Zombie talk in interviews, I like Rob Zombie. Do you know what I mean? I like Rob Zombie. And look, man, really, well, I love Corpses. I love Devil's Rejects. I've not seen Rob Zombie's Halloween in many, many years. I stand by that it was the most depressing movie-going experience of my life. That may change. I don't know. I've actually thought about doing a re-review of that movie for next month because it's October, whatever. Yeah. But I loved the first two movies, and that's what got me excited about him directing Halloween. And I like Halloween too, but now everything beyond that, I'm not a fan of.
I think that was the biggest. It was such a shock when I love, the original Halloween, obviously. At that point, I loved Rob Zombie. And I was, like, just really interested in what he was going to do with it. And,
I can't remember what. It was a convention or something where they announced it. Like, do you guys remember that? I remember, like, that weekend when that was getting announced. Like, I was on my laptop, like, zoned in because it was, like, who's going to get the Halloween remake? Like, they did a big thing on it. Like, it was, like, a big reveal. And then they revealed it was him. And I remember I was like, this is fucking incredible. Like, I was so jacked for that movie. And But I remember some kind of a convention or something like that. They did like a big reveal. I remember. I don't know if you guys remember any of that, but
I don't remember where it was revealed, but
Yeah.
I remember the reveal, and I remember
Yeah.
thinking like, okay, better him than like the guy who directed Britney Spears' last music video. You know what I mean?
But like I mean the way like at the time like he'd done a couple. I was iffy on House, so I was kind of like back and forth on that. But he showed so much passion behind it and stuff like that. I was kind of like, this is somebody who likes the movie. They're gonna do such a good job, and yeah. So
Well,
it was beyond the fact that it was Rob Zombie, just the fact that.
Well, and if you remember, after that movie was released, he made a ton of excuses. Well, John Carpenter's movie didn't make sense to me here. That didn't make sense to me. That just doesn't work. That doesn't work. Like he tried to make it better. He tried to make his better than the original.
That always bothered me. That always bothered me.
But like what he was saying on the Joe Rogan show was, the movie's a mess because the Weinsteins disrupted.
And that's crap. Stand behind your film. You're right about that. I do agree. Stand behind your film. If you think, even if the perception's bad, stand behind it, man. You made that son of a bitch, So I do notice that time has kind of changed his perspective a little bit on that.
Has he given like specifics, like the Weinsteins monkeyed with it, but like what did they fuck with? You know what I mean? Like
one thing, what I don't remember.
Didn't he still have a scene where like fucking Love Hurts cranked up and little Michael Myers is getting thumped or something like?
If you watched, there's one of the DVD releases of Rob Zombie's Halloween came with a bonus disc that had like a 4-hour making of on it.
Yeah, I got that.
And a lot of it is like the reshoots. And you can just tell Rob Zombie on the set, just like, I don't care. I don't, just get it done. He's just like completely, he does not care. Yeah, completely checked out.
That's too bad, because that makes me, like, I didn't know that. I kind of thought that like that was his vision, because it does feel like a Rob Zombie movie at the end of the day.
Yeah.
To find out that wasn't really his vision, that kind of makes me wish that he'd gotten to do exactly what he wanted to do. That's yeah.
Well, and even here's the funny thing that he said on the Joe Rogan show, when he was doing Halloween 2, Bob Weinstein would make him watch clips of his own first movie and say, do it like that. Do it like that. like he didn't realize you directed that.
Yeah.
Like
I wasn't there.
Yeah. like Rob Zombie hadn't directed that movie. And Bob Weinstein is showing him his own movie and going, do that. Do just like that. And like he's like, I know what I did. I directed the daggone thing. You know what I mean? So he said that was the stuff that was going on Halloween too.
So all this came out recently on Joe Rogan's podcast?
Yeah. It's
so
actually
he hadn't said any of that before. I guess now he can, since Harvey's like,
well, but
he can do anything now. That guy's
that's
he's gonna hang himself when he gets in prison.
That's how powerful he was. Yeah. Instead of Rob Zombie saying, "Yeah, it's these Weinstein jerk-offs that messed up my movie," he blames it on John Carpenter. That's how powerful the Weinsteins were.
But I mean, one of the things that got to me too is he kept going back on his word, and I know we'll get into all this in the commentaries, but he would say, first of all, I'm never going to do a remake, and then I'm never going to do a sequel.
Oh yeah,
he did both, but he just wasn't the right guy to make that movie, and I feel like he knew that, but he only did it to maybe further his film career, which really kind of hurt him, I think, more than anything.
Well, Jay, what's interesting? In my head, it almost seemed like a perfect storm, because when the Miramax wanted to add another film, it had been 5 or 6 years. How many other? Because I don't know how many other really big horror directors at that time, 2005-ish, when I think he announced, what other candidates were there for Miramax, the Weinsteins, to go to and say, oh, you need to do this movie? Because I'm assuming Devil's Rejects, I know it was critically more or less praised, but financially, I'm assuming it did extremely well, because for them to get on the Weinstein brothers' radar, right? What other directors, because I was really coming in my own at that time, what other directors were there out there? Because James Wan, was he not unknown, but wasn't he just really up and coming at that time too?
The Pack or whatever they called it at that time.
Saw was out and huge.
Do what?
Saw was out and huge. So yeah, he was out. But he would never have gone near it.
Yeah.
I don't remember anybody else. I mean, this is a long time ago. I don't remember anybody else like like this guy's being courted for it or that
Like
person or whoever.
maybe Eli Roth or something. I don't know, but it seemed like a perfect storm to me for him to get into that. But I don't know.
I was really excited when I heard the news that it was him.
Mhm.
Not so much because of Devil's Rejects or because of House of Thousand Corpses, but because the guy is a horror fan. He's one of us, and I thought that there would be a reverence to the source material. I didn't like the idea of a remake, another relaunching of anything, but I thought this guy was going to show it the respect it deserves. And the film we got, at least on that first film, is not respectful. It's just, it misunderstands the mythos. It doesn't really understand what Michael is. It's not, what I always say about the movie is, it is a Michael Myers movie. It's not a Shape movie. And the Shape is scary. Michael Myers is just another serial killer.
Yeah.
And, that was my same complaint I had with last year's film, which I think is closer to being a Rob Zombie film than being a John Carpenter film. But it's honestly, the less we know about characters like Michael Myers, the scarier they can be. And Rob Zombie's impulse was to spend an hour explaining who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So it was never going to win me over with that approach. But then the fact that the production just, it looked wrong. I love 70s drive-in exploitation, but that's not what Halloween is to me.
Mm-hmm.
There was too many things going on that just didn't match what I want out of a Halloween movie. And even if I could put those aside, then I'd still have to deal with the shortcomings of the movie itself.
Mm-hmm. Well, his original idea was to have two movies. One movie just focusing on young Michael, and then the other movie focusing on adult Michael. And the Weinsteins were like, no.
That's the young Michael stuff is really what I have a problem with in that film. Or one of the things I have a problem with. But I feel like he wanted to make a Texas Chainsaw Massacre film. And he just took Halloween and made it one. He wanted to have a redneck family. And, that's what he did.
Totally, it's kind of like Nightmare on a Damaged Brain, in that it doesn't. There's not more going on under the surface, and it's just kind of it's living in what it assumes is like forbidden thrills of, oh, this is a really messed up family. You're going to be able to peek behind the curtain and see what a really crazy white trash family is like, and oh, the kid's disturbed, and I mean, it's just problematic to try and watch a movie where your first hour. You can't sympathize with Michael really, because the first thing you do see is him kill a small furry animal, right? And then two bullies immediately. He's not a sympathetic character, but who's the sympathetic character for the first hour? The mom? I didn't feel any sympathy. So it became kind of like almost like remote viewing. I could see my own body watching the movie because I was so distanced from caring about absolutely anyone on the screen. And the violence, I'm sorry, ever since Lenzi and Diodato in the late 70s desensitized us to the extent you can go with real violence on screen, that's not going to get me through. I need to care about something, and I just couldn't. And then by the time the movie became a remake of Halloween proper, it was just trying to compress those characters into just small space. I just think conceptually the movie was never going to work. And since the Halloween films, I've never gone back to Rob Zombie because I'm just scared that I'm getting more of that. And 31 was not exactly received well, so I don't think I missed out on much there. Hopefully, the new that 3 from Hell is better. I'm sure it is better than 31, but there's too many films out there that I can put my trust in.
Well, I'll take it one step further. When I was walking out of the theater from Rob Zombie's Halloween, I was disconnected from everything. I had no feeling. I was yeah. I don't know how I got home. We'll talk about that more next week.
It one that you really needed to marinate on for a bit to really decide how you feel about it. It's and the more time that passed, the more angry I got about it. Just how disappointed I was,
Yeah.
But that's, I think my expectations were so high. I think is why, it failed so much in my opinion. because of the director, and hell, it's got a ton of great people in it too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Oh goodness!
Anyway,
It's
we'll
good.
move on from shitting on Rob Zombie.
It'll be a lot. It'll be a very interesting October for the Sausage Factory. That's for sure. Somebody in the chat mentioned if something about the upcoming Halloween movies, Halloween Kills and Halloween. What is it? Yes, Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. Are we? Here's the thing that I'm really finding odd about, especially the next movie, Kills, is why are they bringing back all the characters, like all these old characters from the first film? What's the point? Are they all gonna team up and go after Michael? I mean, Lindsay Wallace was a kid. Why is she back now?
Well, especially where they tried to make it seem like there was no connection really. It just happened to be in the right place. Like, what are they like? Is he going to go after them? I don't really get.
I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, it just doesn't make sense.
It's really just they're just grabbing for nostalgia.
That's what I'm saying. It's like they're trying to appease hardcore fans now.
Yeah. But then like they did that, and then they cast and not to say that I don't like him, but like Anthony Michael Hall got
Anthony Michael Hall,
and I don't know what the other guy's doing. I don't know if he's acting anymore. But the kid who played the original
Brian Andrews.
Yeah.
And here's the funny thing about that piss, real quick. Here's Blumhouse saying, "Okay, Halloween fanatics, we got you, baby. We're gonna bring back this person. We're gonna bring back this person. But you don't bring back one person, and the fans went nuts. How about that, Blumhouse? Now you learned your lesson. Don't try to appease these hardcore fans, because if you don't give them everything, they're gonna be pissed. That's what I see about that.
Well, I think clearly, I think. Well, I saw some social media posts from Brian Andrews talking about how they wanted him back in maybe the first movie or Halloween 2018.
Maybe so. I don't know about that.
And he said something to the effect of, let me look him up here. It was something about they wanted to meet with him to talk about something. And he was like, well, I won't do it unless I have representation. And they were just like, well, no, we'll just, forget you. So I don't know. That was, it was just a weird, but he's gone wild on social media that he's not been cast as Tommy Doyle.
I mean, yeah, they should have got Rudd. Rudd don't dud. Should have got Paul Rudd.
They should have. I wish to God they would have got Rudd so that there could have been.
Oh God!
And then they could have woven the Thorn stuff again and brought us all back.
Yes, there could be little thorns and somewhere and Thorn references. I would love that.
Well, do you think Michael Anthony's getting any hate from this, or do you think he's so?
No, he's so
out of it that he's not even paying attention.
He's probably not paying attention
because he never did anything wrong. He just took a role for a movie, for God's sakes.
That's the thing. I like him, so I'm okay with it. I was just saying it's sort of strange that they went and got everybody else, and then this one dude just got to get singled out.
The Kyle Richards thing happened like a day or two later from the Brian Andrews thing. So that's what I'm saying. You try to do all this nice stuff for the hardcore fans, but if you don't give them everything, they're going to lose it. But then again, who started the GoFundMe? Was it Brian or was it a couple?
I'm sure no.
Seems a little.
It was probably him. I mean, come on, it was probably him. See, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. I'm betting that Tommy Doyle has a pretty big part in this next Halloween film. So who are you going to cast? A guy who's not acted in 20 years, or are you going to cast an actor? You know what I mean?
That would make total sense.
And let's be honest here. I'm sorry. I'm not pretty, but Brian Andrews as an adult is not pretty either.
That's what I really think.
And that's part. I'm sure that was a big part of it too. He's not acted in 20 years. Can we trust him to deliver the performance? And he's not pretty. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I like I've only watched it once. I'm going to rewatch it this season, but I've only watched 2018 the one time, and I had fun with it. I don't know how I feel about 2 more sequels to that movie. I don't know. Where are you guys at on that?
That was actually one of the questions. I don't know because I don't know if there's enough story there for 2 more movies.
I don't know where they go after.
I really don't either. and bring and really, I mean, I'm kind of. I'm confused by them wanting to. I mean, they've even brought back the guy who was the bully. Like, okay, so you're gonna get the bully, Tommy Doyle, Lindsay,
A dog.
yeah, there you go.
Well,
There
the
you
dog
go.
died. Maybe the dog had a kid.
One whole
know.
dog.
Like, what's the point? Are they starting a are they gonna fight Michael? Are they gonna bring Michael into like a group counseling session? You know what I mean? I mean, what's going on here? What's the point of that? I don't get it. But I don't know.
I'm kind of over it,
we'll
to be
see.
honest with you.
And who's doing, like, is it still the same production crew? Like,
it's David Gordon Green
Okay.
and the Danny McBride.
still writing it?
Still, yep.
It's safe to assume they're shooting them back to back, right? Wouldn't that be cheaper?
Oh yeah, these are gonna be like 1 year. Like, I can't remember what the dates are, but I'm sure they're like 2020, 2021.
Yeah,
You know?
it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Piz, you know what's funny, Piz? I remember you did a re-review of the movie, and I thought to myself, Piz, maybe you're being a little hard on it. You said you didn't enjoy it so much, but I got to be honest with you. I did rewatch it again, and then I watched my initial review, and I was like, Christian, you might have been a little too excited. Because it's good, but I was over the moon. But I was, and I've talked to Lauren about this movie. We love this movie. I talked to Lauren about, like, watching a movie like Hellfest to me was so much more out of an enjoyment than seeing like Halloween to me. Halloween, it pales in it as far as enjoyment for me for like a fresh idea movie like Hellfest. I'm so excited about more movies that I have no idea about.
Halloween to me was clearly a movie that was pieced together from reshoots. It's a movie that was made in the editing room. Now, Jaws was a movie that was made in the editing room.
Right.
But Halloween didn't turn out like Jaws. When you watch that movie, and I watched it a third time, you just, like I've said this before, you see the stitches holding it together. It's just Frankenstein together. And there's no flow, and there's just there seems like to be like big chunks missing, and because there are big chunks missing. So,
and isn't it a little hard to like try to, because obviously this train track has multiple turns because of all these timeline stuff, isn't it? And to me, it's like almost a little hard to try to really get lost in this timeline when you're clearly referencing Halloween H2O with the bathroom scene. You've got the Silver Shamrock kids in the movie. It's just like, do you want me to? I don't know. Looking back at it now, in a theater, I was on my feet when I saw the Silver Shamrock kids. I was like, yeah. But then again, watching it, it's like, well, why don't you just be your own thing? And like, if you're gonna be from the original, like, don't reference other movies. I don't know. But then again, maybe they'll do that with these next two, or not. Maybe they'll have a CGI mask in one scene and do a real homage to Halloween H2O, and take it a step further.
Well, and the speculation online is Jamie going to die in this one? Or are they going to kill Laurie Strode off in this one? And I'm going, okay, so she's going to die for a third time in the series.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really? Is that even a surprise anymore?
No.
Because I mean, they killed her off before Halloween 4. They killed her off in Resurrection. Are they going to kill her off again? There's no drama there to Michael Myers killing her at this point, or her dying at this point. She should be the only. All of them should die except Laurie. The only way Laurie should die is if it's one of those situations where she goes with Michael together in an explosion. You know what I mean? They did that at the end of Halloween 2, and he walked out, but he doesn't need to walk out at this time. He needs to just pieces everywhere.
Because that's exactly what they're going to do. Here's my spit take, and I don't know anything about these movies, but my spit take is very simple. At the end of the second film, you're going to be led to believe that Laurie is dead, and then halfway or 3/4 of the way through the final film in this trilogy, she's going to reappear for a final battle with Michael, and they're going out together at the end. Absolutely, that's the only thing that dramatically could make sense if they're going to bother bringing her back for these. But that's the whole problem with this whole trilogy of films is it's already written. You've already seen this movie. I just want them to do something new.
Yeah. Well, when they reboot it again, maybe they will.
Or they'll do Rob Zombie's
5 years.
3. They'll bring Rob. I'll do it.
I still say,
or maybe.
I'd be more interested.
Who knows? They might remake.
What was that, Stone? What was that, Stone? What were you saying, Stone? I think he's frozen. He's frozen again.
That would be a movie I'd more interested to see. Give me those crazy druid robots and like Stonehenge and all that shit. That'd be fantastic.
I think what you do is you just make all the Halloween worlds collide, and you just acknowledge that they all exist, and it's just a multiverse thing. They all slam together, and you have literally every surviving character from every different timeline. You have 4 different versions of Michael running around. You just make it batshit nuts, because at this point, these movies are not going to get better. So at least make it just insane.
Why do we have to keep holding on to all that shit? Why can't we just make a new movie with new people and Michael Myers?
Yeah.
Or how about we get rid of Michael Myers too and just make a new movie?
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they're clearly doing 2 movies because they know it's going to make money, right, Piz? I mean, like Blumhouse is like, hey, let's do 2 of these and we can fund all these other projects, on the side. And that's got to be why they're doing 2 more, right? They don't have a real story, do they? I don't know.
They're doing 2 more because they need a new car.
Yeah, it's got to be fun. And if they're going to shoot them back to back, I anticipate this next one not doing good, like critic-wise. Call me crazy. I just don't think it's going to do good critic-wise, and then they're going to go back and do reshoots for Halloween Ends. They're going, oh, crap, we got to fix this. We got to fix this. Yeah, Jamie Lee, how much is it going to cost, Jamie? How much is it going to cost?
Everything that comes out about it, I'm lower and lower expectations.
Yeah,
I'm over it a little bit. I don't know.
I am too. I'm over it a little bit too.
The drama and stuff, it's just like, oh, God.
I'm anticipating before the Halloween Ends come out, there'll be a trailer like that Star Wars obnoxious, nostalgia trailer. We'll see like artificially aged footage from all the existing films leading up to the new footage. And Jamie Lee Curtis and the knife.
Yeah, Loomis laugh at the end of it.
Exactly. I'm a broken record, but we got to get on to new things. Like these series, these long in the tooth series, just need to get out of our lives. As much as we love them, they're not going to get better. They're never going to recover the glory days. It's not going to happen. And there's some great stuff coming out. Ready or Not was great this year. If you didn't go see it, shame on you, because it was honestly so much fun.
Yeah, it's a good movie. Good movie. Well, speaking of Star Wars, somebody had asked us. Well, first off, let me say thank you to Brian Piotrowski for the kind words. He says, "Glad you guys are back. Thursdays are not the same without you." Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. Somebody in the chat mentioned if we were looking forward to Rise of Skywalker, if there's any hope for Rise of Skywalker. Do any of us have hope for Rise of Skywalker?
I can't help it. I'll have hope until I see it. I can't help it. That's where I'm at. That's me.
I really want to see it, because I want to see. I either want it to be really good, good. They got the train back on the tracks. You know what I mean? And they ended it, or I want it to just be a complete and utter train wreck. I want it to be awful. I don't
think it's going to be awful. I just think that it'll either be middle of the road or it'll be good, but it won't be awful.
Hey, do you want some irony? I would rather watch Rian Johnson's Knives Out over Star Wars.
That actually looks interesting.
Knives Out.
I'd rather see the new Rian Johnson movie than the new Star Wars movie. That's all I'm saying.
I think they just need to get through this one, and they initially said they're like, oh yeah, we're going to take a break and all this horse shit. And I've already heard. I think the other day I read that they're bringing in Kevin Feige from Marvel.
Yeah.
They're already ramping up. It'll be just a couple of years, but what they need to do is get away from all this Skywalker stuff. Make this the Skywalker Ends, and just go do something different with it. But that's what they're going to talk. They're talking a big game of we're going to take a break, but they're already, the Mandalorian's going to come out. I'm sure they'll come up with another show after that. It's horseshit. They're going to milk this thing just as much as they were going to. But
I mean, doesn't Disney like turning it over to Kevin Feige and saying like, dude, do what you did with this, do what you did for Marvel with Star Wars? Doesn't that kind of show on Disney's part that they realize, we've kind of screwed the pooch here. We need Feige to come in and save the day.
That's what I'm saying. They know they need to just cut the leg off here. And then I like the movie, so I'm this is coming from somebody that actually likes them and is kind of looking forward to Rise of Skywalker. I just think that's the best path forward if they're going to keep making them. They make money every time. I mean, they're making crazy boku money. So,
but see, the rumors are that there's so much happening in reshoots that literally there would be no trailer unless 70% of it is footage from previous films. That
Gotcha.
there's so much going on in the reshoots that how many films have they shot? How many, it's the Rise of Skywalker that's going to be stitched together from 10 different movies, you know what I mean, or something.
If we can use Solo as a measuring device, it was a mess, right? And they did a ton of reshoots on that.
Yeah,
they did a ton of reshoots on that one.
So and the final product was kind of meh, right?
Yeah, I didn't think it was bad. It just who wanted a Han Solo prequel, really? You know what I mean? So it just and it wasn't
the prequel no one asked for.
Exactly, and it was just okay at best. So I mean, you're not that's not Star Wars. Star Wars should not be okay at best.
I mean, we're past the point of like creaming our jeans when we see an X-wing, right? Like, and that's what they've been banking on this whole time. It's like, oh shit, there's an AT-AT.
Even during the prequels, and I think we've kind of forgotten how bad the prequels were, but when the John Williams score would hit during those prequels, I would still get chills. I hear that John Williams score on these trailers, and I just go, "Oh God!"
Yeah,
it was the best part of those films. That somebody I was reading something the other day, and somebody posted something to the effect of like, it's been 30 years and they're still flying around in X-wings. Everything still looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's like nothing has changed technology wise, even in this kind of universe. And I was kind of like, I never really thought about that. I mean, that's nitpicking as fuck, but it's just they really need to change the lens of this totally. I think to kind of capture, because a lot of people they don't give a shit anymore. Like even if it's
well, they had a lightsaber with the little kickstands on the side of it, right?
Yeah.
But here's the thing that blows me away about Star Wars, or what Star Wars has become today. I never thought I would live to see a Star Wars movie, quote unquote, flop at the box office or underperform. I didn't think underperform and Star Wars could be in the same sentence.
Yeah.
And I never thought I would see Star Wars movies where people are just like, even hardcore Star Wars fans are just like, I never thought that would have. This is Star Wars.
I didn't see people in the theater. Like me, that's how, I didn't care enough to go.
It's only been like 5 years.
Yeah. I was not a huge Star Wars fan growing up, but those
honestly.
Those films were hallowed grounds. I understood why so many loved them on such an intense, passionate way.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the movies, but I wasn't that intense and passionate about it. But I knew that they were hallowed ground.
Yeah.
To see where they're at now, and that this happened under Disney.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Another mega. You know what I mean? Like, how could it fail? And it has. It's failed. It's failed. They're waving the white flag here.
Yeah.
They can say whatever they want. The media can spin it however they want. They can call us all haters and trolls or whatever. Disney screwed the pooch with these Star Wars movies. Period.
And which movie specifically are you referencing? The Last Jedi, or is the Han Solo one?
Just all the entire new Disney Star Wars era.
Yeah, dude, I'm casual. My brother's really into it, and he loves Star Wars a lot. I did notice watching the first one that came out. What was that called?
Force Awakens.
Force Awakens.
I was extremely entertained by that. I thought that was a fun movie. And then I watched the new one, the one with Luke Skywalker, where he's doing this. I'm thinking to myself, I was like, this is weird. It's like the Rob Zombie's Star Wars movie. And is J.J. Abrams coming back?
Yeah.
Now, he wasn't supposed to, right?
It was supposed to go Rian Johnson, and then what's his name? Actually, I don't even think it was supposed to be Rian Johnson for the second film. I think he was supposed to be on slot for the third film, and he got pulled in. There was another guy. Shit.
They did the Jurassic World films.
Yes, that's the guy. Trevor.
In my mind, it kind of sucks because I'm thinking, well, another guy who could do a good film is going to get screwed because Disney's like, oh crap, let's just go get J.J. Abrams back. Why not let the other guy do it? I mean, isn't it still going to make money or no? I'm assuming that no matter what, if you make a stick figure Star Wars movie and just promote it, but it would make money. But then again, I'm ignorant. I'm very casual. Why not give the other guy a shot? Why does JJ have to come back? That sucks. The guy's out of a job.
The biggest problem with the Star Wars films is just the scale of filmmaking is different than most people do. You can't hire people too far out of the loop or else they can't manage the size of the production. It's a director on a film, on a small independent film, does different things than someone does on a huge tentpole that's all special effects. There's just, when you look at those credit sequences of a Marvel film or a Star Wars film, we all make fun of the fact that they go on forever and the special effects is like, 5 minutes of special effects credits. All those people have to be managed by managers. So there's this huge hierarchy, and different directors can get a hold of that and have their team handle things. But it's a very limited number of people who can handle something the size of a Star Wars movie. And that's partially the fault of the studio, which should have created a permanent hierarchy like they did at Marvel.
Yeah.
But
it should have been JJ from the start.
Right,
exactly. Just stuck with it. I don't know why they really went with this whole, like you said, like they handed it off to some of the big wigs at the time.
It's not smart.
It wasn't smart because now, like, and I saw an interview the other day, and somebody asked JJ, did Ryan Johnson fuck up your movie? And he said, no, nothing he did messed with anything I was going to do. And I was like, bullshit. Because say what you want about Last Jedi, you liked it, you hated it. He did some bold shit, he did some strange shit, and he did it. He went for it, and there's no way that he was prepped for that to be, you know what I mean, to be the outcome. I don't think. I just can't. I can't believe that for a second. So anyway,
I think the choices are bold and fresh and cool for the series. I just think the whole movie's badly made, and I think that comes down to, again, it's like having it would be like taking someone who's used to using a cash register at your Walmart and saying, run the store.
I assume that he came to them, like he came in and he had, like you said, some bold, some fresh ideas, and they were like, you can do this. And I think he had to pick and choose the things that made it in. And then like that whole subplot with the that casino planet was just awful. Like could have been just completely stripped out of the movie and had absolutely no impact whatsoever at the end of it. I don't think. Like I feel like at the end of it he probably picked that fight scene. You know what I mean? Like little things that he could get in there, and I think they should have just let him go full balls out and just do it the way he wanted to do it and see what he came out with. Because I think you're right. I think that there was some tinkering there. Because there's no way Disney sat back and just let that guy make that movie. I don't. We'll see though.
Yeah.
But it's the same problem as Halloween. It's just, it's over, guys. It's a franchise that's outlived what it has to present. It's going to have to change so much to remain relevant that it's not going to be Star Wars anymore anyway. So they should just, there's 80 years of good science fiction novels that they could be pulling from right now to create a new IP that could really do something. And I'm not talking about going back to Jules Verne or something where it's just not going to play to modern audiences. You have tons of modern classics that have not been adapted. They could simply just mine, and they'll find those new franchises that could be every bit as big as Star Wars. But instead, we're going back to the X-Wing fighters, like Jay said.
Well, we do have the Fede Alvarez produced direct sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre to look forward to. Have you guys heard about that?
No, I have not heard.
I mean, I heard about it.
Walk me through this one.
Fede, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce his name or not. Fede?
Did he do the Evil Dead remake?
He did the Evil Dead remake.
Which
and,
I liked.
I liked it too. And he did what's the home invasion movie he did? Don't Breathe. Yeah, I liked both of those movies.
Yeah, he's doing a sequel to that too.
I liked both of those movies, but see, it's the same. Are there any? Haven't they told about every story that they can tell with Texas Chainsaw Massacre? Really? I mean,
unless it's like
they told it in the first one. For God's sake,
Leatherface like moves to the city.
That would be the franchise that gets the most movies.
There's the movie.
Decade.
Well, that was
he
actually
a condo or something.
That was actually Toby Hooper and Kim Hinkle's first idea for a sequel. Was like an entire town of cannibals. You know what I mean?
I'd watch it.
Me too.
But
so is this a sequel to that? What was that last one? Like it was like a
no. This is a direct sequel to the original.
Oh, okay. So they're gonna do the Halloween thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're gonna do some retconning.
I
Gotcha.
don't like that.
So,
Original series have been retconned every film. There is no chronology, really. I mean, even the ones that supposedly follow each other don't line up. So
No.
I mean, Matthew McConaughey is coming back, right?
let's hope.
I would
Let's
assume
hope.
he's not busy or anything. Lincoln commercial.
He's got a Lincoln commercial.
I could do this, or I could swim in a vat of Hugo Boss. I'm sorry, guys. I'm busy that weekend.
Jeez. Yeah, I don't. I mean, Fede Alvarez is talented. He's probably not, I mean, he's not going to direct it. He's producing it. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I can't get excited about another Chainsaw movie.
Did Leatherface even go to theaters? That last one that came out?
I don't think it did. No.
Isn't that what's so strange?
It had a super. I remember it actually did show up in our theater for like a weekend.
That was
And I
like
missed it.
direct TV.
Like, isn't that a death nail? Like if something's that limited, you would just think, okay. And it's strange. Why does Texas Chainsaw Massacre? It just doesn't seem to die. They keep making them, and it just doesn't seem. Now, Texas Chainsaw Massacre is one of my favorites, but it doesn't seem as top tier as far as like fandom is like Halloween. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but it's just strange to me. It doesn't die. They're still making them. Yeah. It's just God Almighty.
I don't know. I just can't get excited about that. Can't get excited about that. You guys out in the chat, if you guys have any ideas for shows or live commentaries that you want to see and hear us do in season 8, post those in the chat. And
go easy on us. We're watching Halloween and Halloween 2.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody said the Creep Show series dropped today on Shudder. After I get done with the stream, that's what I'm doing tonight.
I'm gonna do the 1 month. I'm gonna wait till October 1st to do the 1 month free so I can watch it.
Guys, keep your expectations low. If anybody saw that Critters series.
Okay, wait. I watched the first episode, which is all that's available. I watched it today. It's awesome.
That's good.
Hell yeah.
Good to hear.
It's I know if you want to hear this. I think I like it as much as the original film.
Wow.
I'm dying to watch it. I'm gonna hold off.
There's 2 episodes in every show, so there's 2 segments. The first segment feels exactly like Creepshow because it's based on a Stephen King story. I won't tell you which one it is if you don't know, but it's from Night Shift. And the second half is an incredibly inventive, cool little, almost experimental film that feels like one of those better episodes of the first season of Tales from the Dark Side.
Nice. And what's Nicotero's involvement? Is Nicotero directing these, or is he producing it to put his name to it, or doing the effects?
He's producing.
Okay.
It looks and feels like Creepshow.
I'm excited.
That's awesome.
I don't even think Creepshow 2 looks and feels like Creepshow. This does.
Sweet. I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'll probably jump on there right after we end the show. Has anybody watching American Horror Story 1984?
Yeah.
I really liked the first episode, but I thought the second episode was like what the hell's going on here?
I haven't watched the second episode yet, so
okay, I won't spoil anything. I was like it like what is going? It's way too busy. I thought, you know what I mean. So I was like, I'm sure they're just throwing stuff at us that they'll resolve in future episodes, but it's just like there's way too much going on in here in this episode. So I don't know.
Out of curiosity, what is your favorite American Horror Story season?
I watched the first season. I've not watched any season since. The only reason why I'm really watching this one is because it's Camp Slasher.
Yeah. I liked Roanoke. If anybody saw Roanoke, I really liked Roanoke.
No, wait a minute. No, I take that back.
It was different. I liked it.
Yeah.
I watched the season with the possessed nun.
That was 2.
Okay. So I saw the first 2 seasons.
Okay.
And then I didn't watch any after that. And I liked the first 2 seasons. I just, I'm that way with like television series.
The Carnival one was really good too in Jupiter, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, and they got a character out of it. You see him in Halloween stores, that twisty guy. So I mean, that's cool. I like that. But American Horror Story always has this really good knack of getting me to not care and just get out of every season. Last year's season, it was so political and stuff, and I had to really. I had to sit down and strap myself in to watch it because I was just like, God, I don't feel like watching this. I want to watch something. I want to watch blood and guts and horror. I don't care about left and right. I was like, oh my God. Me and my wife we gave up. We just put on The Office again or something. It was just like, God almighty.
My favorite season is Coven, by the way.
Coven. I'd like to go back and rewatch some of them because I'm sure they're all good. It's just I don't know. I'm kind of that way with series, but definitely the camp slasher thing got me back into, or got me interested in watching this new season.
Mr. Jingles.
Mr. Jingles, yeah.
That's a good name. I liked it.
Let's see. Franklin Hardesty asks us in the chat. He says, question for the panel. Do you think the Elm Street series would have been more or less successful had Freddy stayed serious and dark? What do you think? Because I think I know what Lauren's answer to this is going to be. Let me ask you, Stone, because you've been kind of in and out. What do you think, Stone?
Oh.
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry, you were breaking up.
The question is, do you think the Elm Street series would have been more or less successful had Freddy stayed serious and dark?
Man. Sorry.
No
Sorry.
answer. No answer.
I don't think he could hear you properly.
No answer. I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, I'm having difficulty here.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, just keep going. I'm
Okay.
sorry.
Anybody? I think I kind of know what. Well, maybe I don't know what Lauren's answer.
I want to hear what Lauren says.
What do you think, Raiho?
No, I think that the success of those movies ended up being the kind of the comedy side of it, the levity of it. I think they overdid it, and the proof's right there in the pudding. They got through maybe 3 or 4 good movies, and then things kind of went off the rails. But I think if they just went straight with the scary, it was really the character, the over character of Freddy that sold during that time. I don't think we'd be talking about it today.
What do you think, Stingray?
I mean, they were pretty successful, weren't they? Like even up until like the last film, even though it was like not that great. I mean, not the original films.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that's what separated Freddy from, like, you ask a kid now, they know who Freddy Krueger is. They may not know who Jason Voorhees is, but they know the name Freddy Krueger because he is, Robert Englund. He does have that comedic tone to him.
Yeah.
And, he even had that in the first, couple films. But, they really amped it up overall, And I like 3 a lot, and I think 4 is okay. I think 5 is when it really falls off, and 6 is not very good either. But, yeah, I think they were pretty successful, even at the end there.
What do you think, Christian?
See, I try to sound as articulate as you guys, but it's just not who I am. When I think about it, like, isn't the way it happened like the natural progression of things? Like they just like maybe film people that come in and direct them, they'll watch the previous ones and say, okay, well, I don't want to do mine exactly like that. So then the tone just kind of naturally kind of changed. Like I think it happened the way it was supposed to. But if they would have tried to stay serious the whole time, I would be scared that every movie would have been the same thing. Wouldn't it? Wouldn't it just been the same movie over and over again if it was just straight? Maybe you could do crazy stuff because if it's in a nightmare world, Freddy can do all this crazy stuff. But how many times can he just say, like, this is God or something before he – I think it naturally there's a lot of elements besides just like, okay, let's make this a serious nightmare movie or not. I think as the years went by and then the pop culture got a little bit different and then directors would watch it and say, well – I don't want to do mine like that. I have my idea of what Freddy could be. I mean, they would have had to have say, hey, you can have this job, but Freddy has to be dead serious. You have to make this really tonally scary and all that. So I kind of just think it happens naturally the way it happened. Now, whether the films are, good or not, to everybody's opinion, that's a different story. But I think, with a movie studio, just wanting to make money and pump them out, with new directors coming in and watching the previous one and saying, okay, well, I like this about this one, but I want to do this with this one. I want to make Freddy look and sound this way. I think there's a lot of factors that made it go the way it naturally did. So
I think you're right. I think it became about the next gag.
Yeah, you know,
like soul pizza and shit like that.
And as much as I appreciate whoever asked that question, it's just not that simple. You know, that you have to take into all these factors. You know, pop culture, time, making the new movies, the directors wanting to do their different kinds of things. So
I love that part.
That's my favorite. Dream Warriors is my favorite, but then I think a lot of people like Dream Warriors. But
my quick opinion on the Nightmare on Elm Street series, I arrived to it much too late in life. I mean, I liked the first one for what it was, and then I just got turned off when I tried to watch the rest of the series. It got too goofy. It got too goofy and too stupid, and God bless Robert Englund. But, I mean, I couldn't even make it through Freddy's Dead. I had to stop Freddy's Dead about 30 minutes, and I was like, I'm done. I'm not watching any more Nightmare sequels. I am done after this. I mean, Dream Warriors was great, and I do think that a large portion of that series' success, in my humble opinion, was basically because of Robert Englund and his performances. And he made those movies work, but at the same time, they went too far with the comedy. They went too far in that direction, sort of like with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and other series. You know, they just, for some reason, they lost touch with what made the series successful in the first place. It was a different tone. It was a different circumstance, different director. You know, a lot of changes happen, and they think about the money, and unfortunately, it goes down the drain. I mean, I'll be very honest with you guys. I hated the Nightmare remake. I think it's probably the worst horror remake I've ever seen. It is that bad.
Worse than Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween?
There's
1,000 times worse. 1,000 times worse. I'm not going to say anything more till the live commentary, but I'm not going to come out as the ultimate defender of Halloween, or I'm going to defend it in some ways, but not every way. I can't. But look, Nightmare, it is what it is. I am not a huge fan. I am a Jason Chucky fan. I will listen to anybody else with better opinions than I do about Nightmare. That's all I'm saying.
I love the first three movies.
Yes.
Love the first three movies. And I've gone back and forth on which is my favorite of the series, because I really like Dream Warriors.
Patricia Arquette?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I just that feels like an epic horror movie to me.
I just think that movie has just the right amount of the funny Freddy and the straight Freddy, and then a great cast.
And then Dawkins. I love Dawkins.
Yeah, it's kind of like all the perfect pieces of the series. Now, I'm more of a scary Freddy guy, so I go for the original. I really like New Nightmare, but I can't argue that Part 3 doesn't have kind of the best of everything. It's hard. Yeah.
Okay. Now, 4 was the biggest. 4 was, the breakout. That was the MTV Freddy. And that's I hate Part 4. Hate Part 4. Hate that movie. Hate it. I don't hate it as much as, here's what they did. And it doesn't make sense what they did, because Part 4 was pure MTV, everything. I mean, MTV editing, MTV music, everything about that movie was like a music video. Freddy was a stand-up comedian. He's no longer dark. He's no longer scary. And that connected with, that connected.
And that's what I was alluding to earlier,
Yeah, and that movie was huge. So you would think that they would follow that one with an even more accessible, even more jokey, even more MTV style Nightmare. No, they actually tried to bring it back to being dark again with the Dream Child. That one completely tanked. So they go, okay, let's do Freddy's Dead, and Freddy's going to have a power glove. You know what I mean? So they took it over the top then. I hate Freddy's Dead 2. I can't watch that movie. I hate it. I don't want anything to do with it.
Commentary coming next week.
I was going to say commentary coming.
I've got the 3D
through Halloween.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that movie to death. I don't know which one I hate more, that one or part 4. I think I will give part 4 credit because it's got that cool drama-rama scene in it and the guy doing the kung fu.
Yeah, that's.
As long as we're doing this, I want to shit on part 2 for a little bit.
Oh no! Oh god!
No. That's a horribly made film. That you can almost see boom mics and scenes. They reuse stuff, but for some reason, I love the way Freddy looks. I love the music in it. I just like that film. I like that.
Let me
it's
tell
not
you.
a well-made film. I don't think anybody would argue that, though.
Let me tell you, Mark Patton. Put this down. This goes in the books. Put this down.
God.
Mark Patton. Hold on. I'm going to write it. Hold on. Let me make a banner
That's
here.
the best scream queen ever, or something like that.
Let me make it. Let me do it. Hold on. Hold on.
How many are there?
Hold on.
When Freddy comes back through his body and starts wreaking havoc on the pool party, he looks the worst he's ever looked. Like Jackie Earle Haley looked better than.
He's gotta like go like this.
Oh, no, you mean like you're talking like the movements, or you talking like the makeup? Because the makeup, I love the makeup in Freddy's Dead because it's not Freddy spot. I just love how he's charred. He looks like a witch. I love it.
It goes against the entire premise of the movie.
Who
We're
gives a
talking
shit,
about
though?
dreams,
You know what I
and now he's in the real world.
But I don't care. I could care less about mythology. I watch a movie and I watch it and I just thought it was cool. So I liked it.
I like when the coach gets raped by the bath towel or whatever. I think that's hilarious.
Exactly.
But, other than that, I don't like the movie at all.
He got the shit spanked out of him by that towel, man.
No, I laughed so hard. I watched that just the other night, and I laughed so hard at that.
I do love I love part 2. I mean, it's a very strange movie, but I love the look of Freddy. He's still dark. I love the "You're All My Children" now, even though it doesn't really make sense. But I don't know. I love. Give me part 2. I'll watch part 2 10 times in a row over watching Freddy's Dead once.
That school bus scene has got maybe some of the worst special effects in the entire series. Like at least Freddy's Dead has got great effects. I mean,
Clu Gallagher is my dad in that movie. That's exactly the way he is. That is my dad.
Really? Wow.
Oh, that's exactly how my dad is. Get that little bastard, get out of here. You're like, that's my dad. That's how he talked to me. That's exactly my dad.
Let me give a shout out to Claire, who's watching with us tonight. Hey Claire, how are you doing? Hope you're doing well. Did anyone show their nips tonight? Nope. There's
Cole's not here, so.
Cole was the nip guy. Unless Christian wants to take over as the nip guy.
Ice cubes over here.
Hold on.
Oh,
There you go.
Claire, for the price of one.
Claire, that was for you, dear. That was for you.
Mark this video 18 and up when you get it.
There you go. Oh, jeez. We were talking about Freddy, right? We got off on a Freddy kick. Lauren, I know you're very outspoken about Nightmare on Elm Street. I did speak for you a little bit when I said that I thought part 3 was the best of the series, but you go ahead and fill in the blanks.
So, when horror works properly, it's always based on what's really going on in the culture, right? So Nightmare on Elm Street is actually a really good example of that because it completely embraced what was happening in pop culture and became very, very popular because of it. A lot of you guys actually mentioned part of this just in your discussion right now, but the series went where MTV and hair metal culture and a lot of things were happening at that time. It went big, it went loud, it went obvious, it went kind of cheesy, and it got as far from the dark as it possibly could, with the exception of the 5th film, which I don't think is a well-made film. It wanted to fix things, but it couldn't. I'm not a fan of horror comedies in general unless they really work. If they really work from beginning to end, then I'm down with them. It's a rare breed. So basically from Dream Warriors on, I don't have a lot of love for the series at all. I know people like Dream Warriors. To me, Dream Warriors suffers from all those same problems that everyone screams about in the series, but they don't seem to see it in that movie, which is fine as long as everyone likes what they like. But honestly, as someone who wanted, my rock and roll to be a little grimier than Dokken, I wanted my horror to be a little more serious than Welcome to Prime Time, bitch. So it never connected with me on that level. And the series, by the time it gets to Freddy's Dead, it's the natural progression of, removing itself from the horror genre. I don't think that film can even really be part of the genre. It doesn't ever try and get to any of those emotions that we normally associate with the genre. It's just silly all the time, and that makes it a comedy. There's nothing tragic. There's nothing sad. There's nothing scary. There's nothing frightening. There's nothing regretful. There's no gallows humor. The humor in that film is not even gallows humor. It is slapstick. So the question that was originally asked was, would the films have been more successful if they remained dark? No, they wouldn't have made past part 2. The comedy not only saved the series financially and culturally, it elevated it, because I don't think there's any, if you look, even if I take your guys' opinion of part 3, from 4 on, it's hard to find any of those films that should enjoy the kind of longevity that they've enjoyed. But they do, because culturally they were very relevant in that moment in a way that the Friday the 13th films were not. The Friday the 13th films continued the trend with only minor variations. Their idea of being crazy was changing the setting. They didn't have Freddy wearing a power glove. Jason never killed someone while dressed like the Wicked Witch of the West. So, for the success of the series and the success that it built a studio out of a distributor, you can't criticize what Nightmare on Elm Street as a series did, but it's completely opposite of what I want in my horror films. That said, I love the original film a lot. I think the second film is okay-ish. And then I don't want to talk about the rest of the series because it's just going to upset you guys because you all have your favorites. But no, I think the Nightmare on Elm Street phenomenon and the Freddy phenomenon was ultimately what caused the horror drought of the 90s, because horror was no longer scary. The audience that had always shown up stopped showing up because they could get their comedy elsewhere. And, it led to a really bad period. I don't want to ever see that happen again, although I see warning signs of it currently. That's my screed on Nightmare on Elm Street. Aren't you all glad that I shared?
Very.
Thank you for sharing.
Well done. Well done. All I got out of that was part 3 is awesome, and that's all I heard.
You're all right.
That's all I heard.
That's pretty much the synopsis.
That's the Cliff's Notes version. Let's see. So that was, wow, quite a dissection of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. But is anybody out there? Would anybody out there be excited for another Nightmare on Elm Street film? Really? I mean, honestly, even if they brought back Robert Englund for one more time, I mean,
he's too old. He's too old. I mean, he's not Sid Haig old. Even though, rest in peace, Sid. Sid was 80, but he's too old. That's my favorite franchise, is the Nightmare on Elm Street, my number one, and I don't want any more. I've got too many films to watch. If I wanted to watch all of them in a day, it would take me all day. Give me something else.
I mean, I guess the potential for it being good is not very large. So,
but Piz, you know what this is? Piz, this is Hogan and Flair and Kevin Nash and all these guys, these big franchises that it's like they got to stay right in the face. Let them move out the way for a little bit. Let's get the new generation, as it were. Let's get the Bret Hart movies. Let's get fresh new movies that can
Scott Hall.
I'm not against sequels. I love sequels, especially if it's a movie that I've never seen. Like I'm down to see a sequel from a new horror movie that I haven't seen. Just give me some new. I want to see new stuff, but I don't know. I'm kind of giving up on the theater to see that. Although, like the Ready or Nots and stuff, I just don't. I can't wait. I got it all pre-ordered. I'm ready to see those movies, but I'll Blu-ray them. I don't go to the theater.
The problem is the original IPs don't make money. You know what I mean? Hellfest didn't make enough money to register.
That's the world we live in, right?
Ready or Not didn't make a whole lot of money.
In 10 years, it'll probably have a cult status. It'll be more well known, like a Trick or Treat or something.
Sure, yeah.
And see, Piz, that makes me feel bad because I don't like going to the theater. So does buying the Blu-ray, does that help the movie? I'm sure it doesn't hurt. Or does it just help whoever's like what? What is that? Where does my money go?
I think some movies do find their home on home video, and then they kind of, people realize like years later, okay, well, this movie does have a following, Because weren't they talking about a Trick or Treat sequel for a long time? It never happened, but I mean that's a movie that went pretty much straight to video.
I got my little
That's
thing
pretty
right
rare, though.
That's why.
Yeah, I think that's the rare side of it. It does well on home video, and they give it another shot. I think it's all about box office.
Yeah. I mean that's the that's the number, that's the figures that they're looking at, is those box office figures.
But, I mean, that's
Like, how well
gotta
did
be
Chucky do? Child's Play.
I mean, that's got to have a.
I think it did like 20-something million
I think it did all right.
We'll
It,
see
it,
another
Talk
one
about
of
that
those.
movie.
because it went up against Toy Story, which was ballsy. Yeah,
They played it up well. They did a good job of that.
The last time I checked, like on Wikipedia. Now, granted, I don't know how sourceful that really is, but they'll usually give you like budget and how much it made box office. I think it was a couple million, maybe not a whole lot, but it made like 20 million. Now this was fairly after it kind of just got out of theaters. So
Box Office Mojo says it was made for worldwide. It made about 30.
What's the budget?
10.
Really? Wow.
And then
That's how you do
Wikipedia
it.
says it made 43. So I don't know how you go by that.
Yeah.
But
That's how you do it. You don't spend a shit.
well,
ton of
let's
money
go
on
by the
marketing.
30 million real quick. Let's go by the 30 million. Is that real? I mean, okay, if it's 10 million and then it makes 30 million, is that what is considered a
it's not, because you have to consider
Double
what
for
is
the
considered
ad
a box
budget.
office hit? A box office blockbuster hit. That's when it does like 100 times what it costs to make, right? I mean,
Yeah.
something like that.
making back your money like double, like means nothing, because I don't think they typically put marketing in these things, and then they're always expecting way more. Like movies that come out and they make that they spent $100 million to make it, it makes like 500. You think, oh, that's a breakout success, and they're like, no, we expected $1 billion. You know what I mean? So and then they don't make another one. So it's
Hey, who
I mean, this
picked up
film
the
made 10
Blu-ray?
million. I mean, if we can say that, I mean, is that considered a success? I mean, hell,
yeah,
Did they break even?
yeah,
it's not. Shit, I want to fail like that.
It
yeah,
all
exactly. I don't-
it all depends on how the film was financed. Every film has a different financial sheet. It depends on where the money came from, what kind of financial vehicle was used to develop the film. So anyone who tells you there's one piece of math equation that's going to tell you whether a film did well, it's not that simple.
It's like when you look at too, like I was reading up on I think it was Batman '89 recently, and when they actually put out the numbers for that movie, they were trying to cut taxes out. So they said the marketing, they didn't make as much on like much revenue on like advertising and like toys and things like that. Like they actually tax sheltered a bunch of stuff. So they said they made like 40 million at the time, but really they made like 500 million. Like there's like things like that where they're trying to hide some of the money they're making. There's all kinds of weird things. You can't look at it as a black and white thing. But
So the other thing is just, I mean, Hellfest cost $5.5 million to make.
Mhm.
But some of that money came from Six Flags Corporation. Some of it came from the production company. Some of it came from the distributor. Some of it came from the foreign distributor.
Mhm.
So everyone has different tiers of money they need to make back in different timetables. Again, it's I get driven nuts by websites that want to determine what's successful and what's not. Sometimes it's real obvious. If a film costs $100 million and it makes 6 at the box office, pretty clear what happened. But in a lot of cases, it's hard to tell. But I will say this, like, again, using Hellfest as an example, it did exceptionally well on home video and streaming. It actually had a physical media presence in places like Walmart and Target for months, which is not terribly usual for films of its size. So is there a chance for more? Sure, but it's not going to happen from the same production company. It'll happen from someone who buys the rights if that happens. And frankly, right now, the cult is still building. And it is. Films of its size usually don't have aftermarket T-shirts and masks made, and it does.
Mhm.
But is it going to happen next year? Is it going to happen in 5 years, 10 years? No. You'll see something eventually, though. But you can't judge the success of these things like we used to. You just can't.
Yeah. Let's see what else. What else can we talk about tonight, fellas? Anybody? Movie Pass has had more lives than Jason Voorhees, but it finally was put down. Movie Pass is gone now.
Good times, Movie Pass. Good times.
Pretend I don't know what that is, guys, and explain to me what Movie Pass is.
Movie Pass was a business that I'm shocked made it as long as they did. They had the weirdest business model I ever heard. $9.99 a month. You watch as many movies as you want. I don't know how they thought they were going to make a profit off of that. And they did it. So I don't know.
You know, I have a friend of mine that manages a pretty large theater, and they really screw the theaters over. That's probably one of the reasons why it's not around anymore.
Well, there was a lot of theaters that wouldn't have it, right? Like AMC, they were like, no, we're not going to invest.
I mean, like they don't like reimburse for like a full ticket price or anything. Like it's really like they don't. Yeah.
Shouldn't that be something done by the theaters themselves? Kind of like a Blockbuster card. You buy the card from Blockbuster and you can rent as much as you want. Shouldn't an AMC theater say, "Hey, we'll do a card for you"?
There is one of those out now. Like one of the big theaters in the States is doing it. Might even be AMC. Yeah.
My local Regal just started
I just joined the Regal program.
Really?
Yep.
It's like $20 a month. Is that right?
22 after tax.
It's not bad.
And you have on your phone, if that will focus, an app with a barcode and your photo. You scan that into any movie that's not a Fathom event or, unfortunately, no foreign films, which is annoying because Regal actually do support Indian cinema, which is currently a big thing for me, but it won't work for them. But yeah, for $22 a month to see pretty much anything I want. Have to drive a little bit.
One a day?
No. You can buy as many of for yourself. You can only buy one ticket at a time. There cannot be any overlapping times. But you could spend the whole day at the movies if you wanted every day. You can see the movies as many times as you want as well. Yeah. Now, the only thing inconvenient about this for me personally is it's not my closest local theater. But I think all the theater chains are eventually going to have to do something like this. Because they're not making money on the movies themselves anyway. Not worth a damn. So they make it on concessions. They make it on sideways deals and on advertising. So that's where the money is. That's what they'll do.
If it keeps it alive, I'm willing to, I buy a concession. Not every time, but I do usually spend,
when I go, I do it all.
I spend like $30, just on concession. It's ridiculous, but I enjoy the experience. I want my kids to be able to have the experience, as long as they can, as long as it still exists. It was one of my favorite memories from childhood, so I want it to be one of theirs too.
Yeah, I was at a theater not long ago, and somebody they just wanted a cup of water. They said, "Can I just get a cup of water?" And the employee was like, "You've got to pay for the cup." And they were like, "Well, how much is the cup?" And they go, "Well, if you want a large cup, it's $5, or however, it's like if you want, you have to purchase the drink,
and then just not get a drink,
just get water." And it's like that makes no freaking sense, no sense.
That's madness.
When I used to work there, we had these little water cups. They were like this.
We did too.
Give people,
yeah. If somebody wanted water, you just give them a little cup.
Yeah. Nope. Not at that theater.
No. I don't know. Things have changed too, probably in the business side. I think things have gotten a lot more cutthroat. They didn't make money off the films when I worked there either, but it wasn't as hard to make money as it is now.
Well, from my understanding is the theaters make more money off the film as time goes on. So like, week 1 and week 2, like they make nothing, but then they get a bigger percentage the longer it stays in the theater. But, now you got like 3 weeks max for like the number 1 movie of all time, It's totally not in their favor for that formula.
Dave Shaw wants to know Dr. Sleep. Thoughts on Dr. Sleep? We excited for Dr. Sleep? We mad for Dr. Sleep? Christian's very excited.
I still got to read Dr. Sleep.
Well, the trailer just sucked me right in. The trailer looked really cool to me, so I'm excited.
Well, I'm more excited because it's Mike Magnus, and he's not done a bad movie. So I mean,
what's his resume? What's some of the other films he's done?
He did a movie called Absentia, which is really good. He did what's the movie with the mirror thing?
Oculus.
Okay, I know that one.
He did Hush.
The
Oh,
Ouija
cool.
2, wasn't it?
Ouija 2. Yeah, he did Ouija 2.
So are you guys fans of Ouija 2? Because I was
Yeah.
really surprised how much I enjoyed
awesome.
Ouija 2. You know, the first one was like really just run of the mill to me.
Oh, yeah.
And so I was like, well, Ouija 2, let me look at the back. Okay, it takes place in like the 50s. Cool. I like that time.
If
And then
Piz hadn't
sure enough-
recommended it, I would have never watched it just because I hated the first one. so
Isn't that a
much.
strange case of like, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. And then go figure, once they make a good one, they don't make another one.
He did another movie that for some reason just didn't get released. I think it might be on streaming now, called Before I Wake, which was good too. I think it was called Before I Wake. Let me look it up.
Did he do that Stephen King movie that was on Netflix for a while?
What was it called?
One where she's
I think
tied
you're-
up in the bed the whole time?
Yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of. Carly
um,
Gino or whatever.
Mike Flanagan. I was calling him something. His name's Mike Flanagan. I don't know what I was calling, but Mike Flanagan is his name. But I don't think I was calling him that. Yeah, Gerald's Game. He did Gerald's Game.
Yes.
He also did the House on Haunted Hill House, that series, which was really good too. That was really
I
good
like
too.
all of that stuff, man. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely down for this movie. Not that impressed by the trailer, honestly. It looks like it's really trying to rip on The Shining. But I mean,
Well,
I guess why
it's gonna lean into that hard.
Yeah.
And I have no idea. Like I said, I didn't get to read the book, but it seems like it's leaning into the film The Shining, which is kind of nice because it's in the film universe, I guess. I'm looking forward to more of the TV series, Castle Rock.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that movie is called Before I Wake. It like didn't get a release, and like it ended up going straight to video or straight to streaming or whatever. But it's pretty good too.
I've seen it.
Yeah. I've got a question that pertains to Stephen King and The Shining for anybody that can really give me as much information as they can. So, doing a little bit of research, I saw that Stephen did not really. I don't know if he didn't like it then, or if he's just much more open about it now. He seems pretty vocal that he doesn't like Stanley Kubrick's The Shining.
He's always hated it.
And first up, let me ask this, because I adore the film. I just love that movie. Is it that much different from the book? Did Kubrick and him not get along? Is it a vendetta? Is it Stephen being petty? Even though because is the movie critically acclaimed? I mean, I know it's got a lot of fans, but when it came out, was it critically praised? Did Roger Ebert and Gene Siskel say, go check this movie out and stuff like that? Or what was because I'm trying to wonder, what was the notion in '80 when it came out? What were people saying then? And obviously Stephen to me it seemed like Stephen being he had to have his final say, so he got him and Mick Garris to go do that TV movie, which I tried to watch that. But what's the story behind that?
Well, I think King's main problem was just how they changed because it was his book is like it's like a redemption story at the end with the dad. It's more of a happier ending, I guess.
Happier.
So do a lot of King's books have that? Is that a usual theme in his books?
I wouldn't say that, but
yeah,
it wasn't. I mean, that's one piece. Like another piece too is in the movie, in the book, it's very much it's a haunted hotel.
Okay.
In the movie, it really you could chalk it up to him just being nuts.
Yeah.
It's like him going mad, and did any of it happen? And so there's there's a lot of little things like that kind of they altered.
Well, the whole final act is different.
Yeah,
and the resolution is entirely different. Kubrick was really interested in the psychological side of the story, and that really shows. But King hated right from the point they cast Jack Nicholson. He was already bashing it in the press before the film was even made. They didn't, but you got to remember that he contractually had the right to do the screenplay first, and he wrote the screenplay. And Kubrick basically threw it out the window. So it was already starting off with a bad relationship. I don't think King ever really gave the film a chance because I think it's a great film. Maybe some pacing issues, but it's a great film. And
I love it.
I think if he was able to look at it versus a lot of the other films made from his work, I can't imagine how you come down and as it being like your least favorite thing.
Yeah.
I
He's
mean,
pretty much let anybody do whatever the fuck they want with all of his properties for this long.
he loves what Mick Garris has done repeatedly his work, which is a crime in 18 states.
Yeah.
You can't look at the TV movie of Tommy Knockers and think that that's a better film than The Shining, but he does.
No, Langoliers.
Langoliers.
Oh man, I
is
was
the
so
bomb.
jacked for Langoliers. That was some fucking. That was.
Let me ask you this, Lauren. Maybe is Mick, and I like Mick Garris. I like his podcast, and I do like some of his films. Why do I feel that Stephen King thought to himself, I can make Mick Garris my whipping boy. He'll do exactly what I say. Why do I feel that's his relationship with Mick? Is there any notion about that? Because didn't he do that TV movie with him too, The Stand? I haven't seen The Stand.
A ton of television movies with him. So it all comes down to there was a deal between King and ABC that started in, I believe, 89. And it was a deal to start making miniseries and longer form works based on his works that were not being licensed out.
Okay.
And Mick Garris was just the guy at ABC that the ABC went to. And these were big deals because, believe it or not, King was making more off of these television deals than he was making off of the film deals. So it was just they basically been in business with each other for decades.
Okay, so it was ABC that champion.
So, I'm not bashing the guy, but I don't think sometimes they come back is necessarily a good film.
Yeah. So do you think it was more so ABC that championed Mick Garris to do this stuff? Was he cheap? Or I just assumed that Stephen King. I don't know why. I thought to myself, Stephen King was like, I can make this dude do whatever I want him to do.
No, King was never that involved with it at that point. It was just, and it wasn't a matter of it being cheap. These weren't cheap productions for ABC Movies of the Week. What they wanted was family dramas they could shoot on the same sets they used last week, and they couldn't really do that when you're making the miniseries, or sometimes they come back, or Tommy Knockers. In a lot of foreign territories, these did get released as theatricals, which is really kind of bizarre to think about from our point of view. But it made a lot of money, and King was at a point in his career where anything he put out was going to sell huge, whether it was a book, a film. I think Jay's Frozen. It was just that moment for him, and when you have something that successful as a business arrangement for that long, I think you just develop trust. But for myself, I don't look at something like Sleepwalkers, which was a theatrical.
Yeah.
In America, anyway, that was made between that partnership, and see that trust making sense to me. I think that the best work that King ever had done was early in his career when he had really kind of boutique directors or auteurs, Kubrick, Cronenberg, De Palma. I mean, there's no question that they produced the best work from King's work. But they also were the ones that took the most liberties with the works too. I mean, Mick Garris goes a lot closer. If you look at his version of The Shining versus Kubrick's version of The Shining, they're night and day. But the hedge maze animals were a bad idea for film. Kubrick probably took one look at it and said, "That's never going to work." But the miniseries proved it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I do love Critters too.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Critters too?
Good looking women in that one.
Amazing.
Any relation with this? I doubt it, but I didn't know any relation with this new It movies. Is this King saying, "Okay, let's do my version of it. I don't like the 1990 version anymore"? Or was this just the studio saying, "Hey, everything's getting remade. Let's make some money"?
So a lot of times, what you see happen is that a lot of rights, when they revert back, it becomes a bidding war. And there was just this feeling in the air that it was a property that would make money. But it took forever to get off the ground. I think they had to re-up the rights even in the middle of the development of it. But it is a huge title. I mean, I think it's one of King's weakest novels, and definitely of that time period, I feel that way. But, whatever they did right for the first half of it, not so much the second. I don't know. But I don't know how the rights came there. But I don't think King has as much to do with any of these projects as people think. I think it's mostly cashing checks and showing up for cameos if they want them. Because Hollywood doesn't really work that way, and the guy doesn't leave Maine anymore. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, we had a viewer ask us to talk about it, Chapter 2, since we're talking about King, and then we'll get into Monty's question here. And Monty, how you doing, man? I think Monty was having to work tonight, so he couldn't join us. But Monty will definitely be a presence in season 8 for sure. So we'll get to Monty's question here momentarily. I saw it Chapter 2. I was super excited for it. I loved it Chapter 1, and I was completely just I was going to say underwhelmed, but that would be putting it kind of lightly. I did not like it Chapter 2 really at all. And I won't go into all the specifics. If you guys wanted my full rundown on the movie, check out my review. But I was really, really disappointed with it Chapter 2. I really disliked that movie to the point where I feel like it brings down it Chapter 1. It will bring down the enjoyment of me watching it Chapter 1 in the future. Or just that it brings down just overall it Chapter 1. I do think if you Cary Fukunaga, who's the guy behind True Detective,
Yes,
he worked on it for like 4 years, went through multiple drafts of his screenplay before he eventually backed out and just was like, I'm done with this. So the people behind it Chapter 1 had his drafts to draw from. With it Chapter 2, they had nothing but the book material and, their own input. And I think clearly Fukunaga's input was huge with it Chapter 1 to keep it very focused and very tight. And when that's not there anymore, you get it Chapter 2, which is very bloated, very unfocused, very draggy as far as the plot is concerned, and just not very good at all. That's my autopsy of it Chapter 2. Christian, have you seen it Chapter 2?
I did. I saw it. I reviewed it, and I watched your review, and I watched Lauren's review, and I'll be honest with you, a lot of the things you guys say, I don't disagree with. But for me, this is just me. And I wouldn't even disagree that the CGI isn't just extremely blatant or bad. I was entertained. Of course, the characters like you guys talked about. You're right. I can't really remember their names, and I know the names of them just from the first. And I couldn't tell which one was Ben and stuff. One of the guys looked exactly like he did as a kid. But you guys are totally right. I'm not arguing that the characters and the stories, it's nowhere near as fun as the kids. The kids were so sweet, and you loved everyone. And the little chubby Ben, you loved him, and he was New Kids on the Block. They gave him something to feel identifiable to anybody. They didn't do that in this one, and you guys are right. But to me, the movie was like going through a haunted house, and each scene was like going into a next room. And I was like, me and my wife were like, oh God, what is Pennywise going to turn into this time? So I was entertained. By the time Pennywise, when he was a spider, I thought it was hilarious. It looked so funny to me, and I just thought I had fun. But by the time Pennywise turns into a little leprechaun and then he floats away, and everybody's got to hug it out at the end, by that point, because the character development, things like that, were weak, which I have no disagreement on. Because once Pennywise dies, we got to that, I was like already trying to get out of my seat because I was ready to go. But I had fun when all the mayhem was going on, and they got to go into this scene, and Pennywise turns into this, and then Pennywise is turned into that. I enjoyed that. But I don't disagree with what you guys say. So that's just how I enjoyed the film. I didn't go in expecting to care about anybody. I just wanted to see what Pennywise was going to turn into. So I'm a weird guy. When I watch a movie that has a really great story and I get into the characters, it's because it's by happenstance, not because I necessarily go into a horror movie looking for that. So that would have been a plus to me, but I got what I wanted. I wanted to see mayhem and pandemonium, and that's what I got. So,
Stone, have you seen it Chapter 2?
You know what? I'll be very honest with you, Piz. Your review kind of killed my enthusiasm to go see it. And I'm sure if I saw Lauren's review, I'm sure there's stuff there that I would agree with as well, or would have influenced me as well. I guess, the reviews across the board from both critics, audiences have been. I think the word to describe the general opinion has been polarizing. I mean, there are people that love it and think it's a masterpiece, and there are those that hate it, and then there are those that are just disappointed or, oh, it was pretty good. I wish this would be better. No, there's like not every opinion is literally 100% different. It's strange to me. I enjoyed It Chapter 1 more than enough to want to watch It Chapter 2, and yet after the reviews, after the opinions and recommendations from other friends, I just thought, you know what, I'll pass this time. I'll watch it when it gets on Blu-ray. I'll give it a chance then. I'm definitely going to see it eventually, but as you know, I got my October theater list locked up. So
you've got a very impressive October theater list. As a matter of fact, we're going to move on here in a second to talk about upcoming movies that we're looking forward to. But you've got a nice little list of movies you're going to be watching in October, so that's cool. Let's see. Stingray and Rahu are both out. I know, Lauren, you and I pretty much felt about the same way when it comes to It Chapter 2. And I almost felt like that the filmmakers would up their game, understanding that the source material for this part of the film is very much weaker. The adult part of the book and the adult part of the miniseries is just not good. So I thought that they would come into this thing and just, up the, they would take it upon themselves as like, I don't know, like a challenge to make it as good or better than the first one. And I don't know if that was a challenge they made to themselves, but that was a fail. But your thoughts on Chapter 2?
So I've said it before, but I'm not a fan of the novel. I liked the first chapter of the current version of it a lot more than I thought I would. Haven't revisited it, but I liked it a lot more than I thought I would. I thought it improved on the source material. But I went in with my eyes open with this, even from the first trailer, because I realized that it's not just the material is weaker in the novel. It is, but the real problem is it's a coming of age novel, and that all the adult stuff only works in contrast to the kids' parts. So the miniseries got it wrong to begin with by separating them, but this separated them by a couple of years at the theater. Mm-hmm. And without that context, which they kind of half-hearted tried to do with flashbacks, but it didn't really work. And then the truth is, the movie just it's 3 hours long with about an hour and 10 minutes worth of content. Mm-hmm. If you kind of condense the plot, you can say it in like 3 sentences. So it does not need to be a 3-hour movie. I didn't hate every second of it. I was just kind of sitting there going, well, this is what I thought the first one was going to be. So couldn't catch lightning in a bottle twice. I get it. I don't know. It's not something I would recommend to people. It's a failure. It is if the It Chapter 1 was the best possible version of a bad story, this is a bad version of a bad story.
Is It Chapter 2, is it done at the box office? Is
No.
it still playing?
No.
Yeah, it's making tons of money. It's a huge hit.
Whoa. Oh man.
But that said, it cost an amazing amount to make, and it doesn't have China in the foreign markets because it's not going to play there. Yeah. Stephen King is not a commodity in Japan or in most of Europe the way he is here. England he is, France he is, and Russia he definitely is. So there's territories where there's money to come in, but it's not going to make the kind of money that the first part made, because the first part was not as expensive as the second. Mm-hmm. That said, there's no way anyone's going to look at it and say that it was a failure. It was a success. But I think that there's something nasty to that happens to the genre. Steaksaw says, I'm a failure. Thank you. I think that, we have to be careful. Our biggest hits tend to showcase or provide the path to where the genre heads for a while. And it just frightens me if this is the path we're going to go down, is overly long CGI fests. I'm not on board with at all. And this is making so much money. You know that every studio's kind of saying, well, what do we have that could be kind of be like it, that we could have multi-parts and, you know, we can just throw lots of money on. We can get name actors in there because the horror genre is not known for that. I don't think any of that's positive.
Mm-hmm. Well, I will say this for the movie. It was the longest movie Jeremy's ever sat through. He sat through the whole thing with just one bathroom break. And we were watching the movie at the theater with the reclining seats. And there were a couple of times I looked over at Jeremy. He was leaned all the way back in his seat and had his legs up in the air like he was giving birth. So he was pretty excited watching the movie.
So Jeremy.
He liked it. He liked it.
I love Jeremy. He's funny.
He did say one thing as soon as we walked out of the theater. He turned around, looked at me, he goes, "Brave." That means he sat through the whole movie. He wanted, he wanted to be commended for being brave enough to sit through the movie. So he got commended.
Well, it's 3 hours. I mean, he deserves a medal for that.
He deserves it, and he got rewarded with a giant burrito from Qdoba. So that's
yes.
He annihilates those things, man. He just rips into them, and like 5 minutes later, they are gone. He's eaten every bit, every piece of cheese. They're just gone. You know what I mean? What you saw it, chapter 2, right, Stingray?
Yeah. I did.
What were your thoughts on the film?
I mean, I liked it. I liked it a lot. They included a lot of my favorite parts from the book, and they finally got Mike in his right place. They kind of gave Ben a lot of Mike's work in the first film, and I like that Mike was back as the his main character, and the ending. They could have chopped a lot off the ending. I think it just felt like it was just going on and on and on. But I liked it a lot. My kids liked it a lot. We had a good time with it. It's probably not something I'm going to go throw on very often because it is so long.
Mm-hmm.
But I was happy with it. I was distracted by the actors they chose most of the film, just because I'm so aware of, James
McAvoy,
and then
Jessica Chastain.
Jessica Chastain and Bill Hader.
Yeah.
I know those people all so well, but the guy they chose, the adult they chose to play Eddie, I thought looked just like the child actor. I thought that was a really good choice.
He did.
They did a good job casting.
Mm-hmm.
At least they did a good job casting adult actors that looked like the kids.
Yeah, I mean, I just felt like we don't always need like leading men and leading women. Like, we got the top 5 actors right now. Like, why do we got to pick out of that?
Right.
Yeah, the Muschietti guy had worked with Jessica Chastain on Mama before Jessica Chastain really blew up. So I can understand, they're pals. But yeah, I don't know, do you need a James McAvoy in this kind of movie?
I mean, I like him a lot, and I like her a lot. But,
I like it, yeah, but it's like they weren't given anything to really work with. They were there for a big paycheck, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, Steak Sauce was talking crap about Ices too. You're suspect. You're suspect, Steak Sauce. All right, you're on notice, my friend.
I like Steak Sauce.
Monty asked us if we thought that movie theaters at some point in the near future would go the way of the gun. What do you guys think about that?
I think everything's going to go away the gun soon, right? I mean, as much as I love home video, eventually it's going to stop. Laserdisc stop, VHS stop, DVDs. Well, actually, DVDs kind of still going, right? But everything comes to an end, unfortunately. Hopefully not in my lifetime, but Jesus, I mean,
yeah,
I'm pretty cynical, so I'm just expecting the worst every day. The next day.
I think the home theater system has improved so much over the years. You know what I mean? You don't have to pay a huge price to go to the theater. Because, I mean, like, if you're a family and you've got kids and you're going to a movie that you can't take them to, you're hiring a babysitter, then you're going to the movies. You're dropping, what, $13 a ticket, $15 a ticket for a movie. Then you're getting just bent over and destroyed at the concession stand. You know what I mean? By the end, and if the movie sucks at the end of the night, you're out what, $100, and you watched a sucky movie. You know what I mean? So, and you know, you maybe had like a kid in front of you on there. They whip out their like freaking, you know, iPad like right in front of your face, and they're playing whatever. Or you've got like, you know, people back behind you, you know, like it's their honeymoon night. They're just like in the floor going at it, or you know, just any. I mean, I've seen and heard it all. I've seen and heard it all, which is why I have this social anxiety with movie theaters now. But I still think there's something special about going to a movie theater that the home experience just doesn't touch. However, if they continue to make that experience more and more expensive, and you know, less customer friendly, you know, they could be shooting themselves in the foot.
It seems like they're all going the way of catering to certain specific, you know, the reclining seats, which, you know, the reclining seats are great, but you can only fit about half of the, you know, the seats that were in there before. And
sell the tickets to choice.
Exactly. But, I mean, shit, now you're looking at $20 a ticket for this damn thing.
I always think like when you think about live sporting events, like when you watch sports on TV now, you watch hockey or something like that, like it's like you're there. Like they got HD cameras right on these guys. They're flying them in with drones. But people still go to see them live, and they pay a lot of money to go see them. It's still, I don't like, you know, I don't think theaters are going anywhere. Like I don't think they're like, they might go through slumps, but like they're still making money. There's still a big business there. I just think like people, there's a lot of people saying, oh, well, they're trying to get the new movies into homes, and I've seen some stuff on that, and I've thought it was a bad idea too. But it's sort of just the same thing as a pay-per-view. Not everyone can go see it maybe at the, you know, the stadium or whatever. So you let them have it at home. Like you get people that probably wouldn't go to the theater anyway, make some money off of them. I don't think theaters are going anywhere. But I do agree that it seems like the price is going up dramatically, and like I personally, I go to see the vanilla flick. Like I don't see it in 3D. I don't see it in you know, the audio 4D or whatever, and the moving seats and all that shit. Yeah. So like I don't pay the premium on the ticket, but I think you're right. I think they could shoot themselves in the foot there. But I also think that there is always going to be people that are going to want to go for the experience. And maybe it'll be a more niche thing eventually, but yeah.
What do you think, Lauren?
I don't think theaters are going anywhere. I think they're going to evolve. I think the business model is evolving between AMC and Regal. They understand that some kind of membership or subscription plan is the future. Again, I'm paying less than $23 a month for unlimited movies. And it will last because unlike MoviePass, this is all in-house. It's part of their actual business model. And they're smart. They're sending me deals. So it's like the last time when I went to go see Rambo, I got a small popcorn, small soda for $5.
That's not bad.
That's part of the program.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you? And they're making profit off of that still, because
oh my god, popcorn is like pennies.
Yeah,
and soda is not much more.
They're banking on you being a member for however long, so they can plan their.
It's a 1 year membership, which you can pay monthly or all at once. But still, it's $10, $230, whatever it is for a year. Honestly, it's not going to take a whole lot to get that much money of value out of it.
I tell you, man, when I had MoviePass, man, my butts were in the seat. I was going to make my money off that thing.
And what the theater chains didn't like about MoviePass was not so much the reimbursement process. What they hated was that there was no loyalty. You know, if they were getting the customers every week and getting the concession money, they wouldn't have given a crap. But you went wherever you were, whatever was closest. This way, it kind of guarantees that I have 2 theaters that are Regals near me. They're getting my business, right? I mean, why would I go anywhere else? It doesn't make any sense. I'm already getting the movie for free. I have to drive 10 minutes out of my way.
But at that point, they don't care if you go or not. You're already paying the monthly fee. So I mean,
Right. In fact, they want you to not go because they don't have to pay the
Yeah.
studios. They're cut.
it's like a gym membership. Everybody gets one on January 1st, and then they don't go for the rest of the 3 years.
I mean, I'll get my youth. I only really watch, horror, sci-fi, some fantasy, not much fantasy, and action films. I haven't paid to see a comedy in decades.
It's because they're awful.
Pretty much. I think Brain Candy was the last time I laughed in a theater during an actual comedy. But honestly, I think that the theaters are going to have to evolve, and they know it. And I think that's why you are seeing less of a footprint, less seats in every theater, but a better experience. Because if they can do that and put a price cap on, it's a winning formula. But it's not a winning formula if you have to compete with everything in the house already. So in other words, if you have your 60-inch, 4K screen at home, and you have your couch feeling pretty comfortable, your kitchen, your microwave popcorn, it's a lot to compete with. So you have to do something that's more. And the other reason I think theaters are going to survive is because they're finally getting the message. They have 13 screens, and they're playing the same 5 movies everywhere. Has been the model for the last 15 years or so. But I mean, I should post just the specialty screenings that are going on in my area over the next month. It's amazing. Shaun of the Dead, The Shining, The Exorcist, the original Psycho. There's a lot of great older films that are on screens, and there's a lot of limited releases. Villains, a film I saw last week, is only at Regal. They have the exclusive on it. It's on 200 screens in America. It's a great, small, little, dark comedy. Not the kind of thing you laugh out loud about. It would appeal to horror fans more than fans of comedy. But you're starting to see that diversity in the marketplace come back that we lost at a certain point. If we can get to the point where not everything has to be the Avengers Endgame, we will be in a lot better of a place. But for right now, we're in a transition. Not every theater chain has figured out their model for a membership, and not every theater has partnered with people besides Fathom. Because I don't know about you, but I've never gone to any one of those ballet presentations. Have you ever seen a fight in a movie theater? I haven't. They advertise, but I think there's a lot of room for them too if they got smart. If whatever, I don't know. Yeah, I'm really bad with television, but whatever the big show is at the moment, can you imagine having a season premiere at the theater a day before it airs? All the fans would show up. There's plenty of places they could go. But it's going to change. It's not going to be what it was. It already isn't what it was when I was growing up, but it's not going to be what it was 10 years ago for the next few years.
Yeah. Roland, no. None of that stuff was in Cary Fukunaga's It. Not the child encounter. No space fight between the giant turtle. No, that wasn't in any of Fukunaga's drafts, man. Let's talk about
the fact that Piz lied to me before I saw It Chapter 2 and told me there was going to be the turtle was going to be in the film, and he was going to be by Gilbert Godfrey. That is.
I kept telling my kids about the orgy scene, and they were really looking forward to it.
It's kind of what the book's about.
If Maturin had showed up and it was the voice of Gilbert Godfrey, that would have saved the movie for me. That would have saved the whole movie.
Well, he was in Critters New Binge.
I didn't make it that far.
Yeah, he was in it.
I think I watched about 4, and I think I slept through 2 of those. So
Dude, it was rough. It was rough.
I watched the first two. I'm a huge Critters fan, but I couldn't do it. I haven't watched the new movie yet either.
Me neither.
I've had it in my hand, the Blu-ray, and I keep putting it back.
I watched it.
Wait, there's a new Critters movie?
Nothing, though. Yeah, Critters Attack. I won't say no. I watched it, but I won't say nothing.
It's not bad? It's not good?
Well, it was. I enjoyed it a little bit more than the show, but it's almost like a Disney movie.
Oh, God.
Honestly, that's almost what I would call it, is like a Disney movie. Like it's.
I'm still dreaming. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. No, I'm done.
I'm still dreaming of Leonardo DiCaprio doing the new Critters movie.
Wouldn't that be sick? When's he gonna do a con?
The greatest.
Let's get Leo at a con at a Texas Frightmare with this big Critters 3 banner. That line will be so full.
If Leo wants
need that
in,
money.
he can get the funding. He can get the funding.
Leo wouldn't piss on you for that kind of money.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. What are your guys's? You guys got any big plans for Halloween? Any movie marathons or Halloween parties, or you guys got the houses decorated for the season? Anything like that?
I haven't decorated yet. I've been picking up stuff here and there. Get some new lighting stuff. Just some more. I love these things. These whirl emotions. Get a kick out of these things. But I haven't decorated yet, but it will be coming soon. And I've been picking at the movies on my watch list. You guys gave me some suggestions. I've got some in there, and but I haven't gone full out yet, I guess, with my watch list. But I'm totally full on in the Halloween, like since August. I've been nuts.
Yeah, I'm in the mood.
So yeah, probably going to unleash on that soon. I actually picked up, I think it was Halloween 4 and 5. I hadn't had them on Blu-ray, so I picked those up. I'm going to rewatch those. I have to go sit through fucking Halloween and Halloween 2. Finally going to watch Hellfest. That's probably top of my list. Yeah, no, the general stuff, I guess, but
there was a really good movie called Beelzebooth. Have you guys heard of Beelzebooth? It started out really, really good, and like the first hour of that film was really good, and then it just kind of kept going on and on and on, and it just kind of lost me. But the first hour of that movie was like really good. I'm not sure if it's like a Mexican U.S. kind of. Actually, let me look it up and see.
Have you guys seen Brightburn?
Yeah,
I did.
It had a lot of really cool gore in it, I thought.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of it, man. And I'm not into the superhero movies typically. That's just I never really watched those. But I was told, no, Christian, watch it. It's like kind of like a horror movie. It's kind of like a horror movie, and it definitely does have the flying stuff. Makes me feel like it's one of those like the DC type films. But I thought it was pretty darn cool. I mean, I don't need to see more movies like that per se. I'm not trying to find a rabbit hole of those. But I thought it was fun. I mean, I thought it was pretty cool.
When the lady gets the shard of glass in her eye.
That was badass.
That was cool.
You know, I love that. When a movie makes me go, I love it.
I was like, that's some Dario Argento shit right there.
Yeah.
This Beelzebooth movie's not even. Oh, there it is. I'm sorry. It's since it's a Mexican film. It was made in Mexico, but it's got Tobin Bell in it from the Saw movies. It started out really good. I was feeling about it kind of like I was feeling about Game Over. We're like, okay, we're doing something different. We're taking chances because I mean, literally, I don't want to give anything away, but there's a scene where I mean, you've got like a kid in an elementary school possessed by a demon running around with a shotgun, just bam, 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 and at the end of it, bam. You know what I mean? So I mean, that's taking it pretty far. And like the build up, that first hour was so good, and then it just kind of like just slowly just kind of lost its plotting, and it's kind of disappointing. But the first hour was so good. So good.
It's called
Beelzebooth.
Oh.
Beelzebooth.
Yeah. It's on Shudder. You can stream it on Shudder right now.
Well, just in case I didn't mention it, I live in a New York apartment, so I don't get a lot of trick-or-treaters. Mm-hmm. So unfortunately, I don't do much in terms of Halloween celebration. But I will just share real quick, and I just tweeted it today. Piz already knows about it. I'm going to see 4 films in October, and I may write about all of them. I haven't decided yet, but these are the 4 films I've decided to see, one for every weekend. 2 of them being sophomore efforts from writer-directors whose debuts I feel were horror masterpieces. And those 2 films would be Jennifer Kent's The Nightingale. I'm going to see that next week. And also Robert Eggers' The Lighthouse, which I'll be seeing on the 18th. And then the other two films are zombie comedies. Those two zombie comedies, of course, are Abe Forsyth's Little Monsters with Lupita Nyong'o. And I'm sure you guys know what the other zombie comedy is.
Is it The Dead Don't Die Too?
Yeah.
Oh, no, Zombieland Double Tap.
I know. Yeah.
Yeah, Zombieland Double Tap. But did any of you hear about the Nightingale?
I've not heard
Jennifer
a thing.
Kent's Babadook follow-up?
Not heard a thing about it. Nope.
Oh,
I've
wow.
heard all about Lighthouse.
Yeah, I want to see the Lighthouse. So
Lighthouse was
badly. I wanna
filmed
see
here,
that.
so it's like all over all the newspapers and everything. They
Oh,
talk
where's
about
that
it
again?
constantly. Nova Scotia.
Where's that again? Nova Scotia?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm not sure exactly where they filmed it, but I mean, you could take your pick of lighthouses. But it was filmed here apparently, so like it's constantly like we just had the film festival that we have every year here in Atlantic, Canada, and it was all over that. And so I do want to see it, but I haven't had a chance.
I hear it's more of a noir drama than it is true horror, but it looks beautiful, so I don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And just real quick, the Nightingale, apparently I didn't see the trailer because I don't like watching trailers before movies, although
Good call.
as Piz knows, Black Christmas, I won't be seeing the new Black Christmas. Screw
Why not?
that. Oh, man. I'm sorry. Anyway, Jennifer Kent's The Nightingale. All I know about it is that it's set in 1825, and it's about an Irish immigrant. And apparently, just to warn everybody, it apparently garnered a lot of controversy in Australia because apparently there's quite a bit of sexual assault in it.
I was going to say, I'm looking at the plot keywords, and rear entry sex is like the first one. So
Yeah.
I'm on board
I mean,
for the Nightingale.
but look, the critics so far have praised it. Not as much as Babadook, but I mean, it's sort of like Midsummer to Hereditary, but I can't wait to see it. That and The Lighthouse, obviously.
Cool. I'm glad you told me about that. It's on my list now. Is that getting a theatrical release? So
I'm guessing probably a limited one.
So he's going to see all these in the theater and then do a review.
It's going to be limited to adult bookstores.
Oh goodness. Are there any movies for the rest of this year that you guys are looking forward to?
I mean, Terminator Dark Fate.
Ah!
I know I'm
Oh, no.
Well, Jay,
I'm on there, but I'm going
Jay, my
down.
money says that movie's going to live up to its name, Dark
wanna see it.
Fate.
You'd have to pay me a $50 bill to go see that.
It's
I'm still on the fence about Joker. I'll be very honest with you. I'm still on the fence about it.
I'm really excited
I'm
for
not going
that.
to see that. I don't want to die.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you for being excited, but I'm still on the fence. I don't know. I can't explain it.
Well, somebody explained to me what that movie to me. I don't know. It doesn't look anything like a superhero movie. So when I saw the trailer, I was telling my wife, I said, I want to see this. This
They
is
wanted to get what's his name in the movie so bad. They were like, we'll make it an art house film. This thing could win an Emmy.
Joaquin.
Yeah, Joaquin Phoenix. Like he was not going to do a superhero Joker that was going to end up in a Batman movie. There's no fucking way he was doing that. So they made this other movie that's I think this is its own thing, right?
Yeah, I want this to be like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. I just want this to be really biopic and dark. That's what it looks like to me. I hope that's what it is. I'm gonna go see it. I'm really extremely interested to see it.
Hey, Kristen.
I think it's gonna be very Taxi Driver.
That's cool. I'm down with that.
Yeah, I'm down with that too. But that's a movie. I'm almost afraid to go watch that in the theater on opening weekend.
Oh, hit that matinee, Piz. You got to hit that matinee.
Yeah, got it. Well, gosh, I don't know. I don't know. The way that they're trying to spin that movie, it's like they want.
They're trying to say it's going to incite incel violence.
Yeah.
Get the heck
They're
out
just
of here.
grabbing every keyword they can. Out of
Yeah.
they
That's
can.
gonna drive up ticket sales, Piz. Let them talk,
Yeah.
Piz.
Do you think
Let 'em talk.
Batman? Do you think Batman will even be mentioned?
No, I don't think you will. I really think that they extricated it completely. It's really just a story about a guy that goes off the handle and dresses as a clown.
I can't
I
wait.
really-
It's all Joker.
Yeah, like I think it's Joker in title only.
Yeah,
And that's my opinion, but I could be wrong. But
that sounds
Yeah.
excellent to me.
It looks just like the King of Comedy, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's definitely moments in there. Yeah.
Which it makes me want to watch King of Comedy again.
I'm eager to watch it to see what all the hype is about, and but I don't know, it's almost like the media and certain political parties are wanting there to be some sort of tragedy associated with that movie, so they can point their finger and go, "See, look, that's your enemy. Those white guys are your enemy." You know what I mean?
The Pentagon has issued a
Yeah.
warning about this whole thing. Like, so
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
there's some
This
serious
stuff's
stuff
getting
going on.
ridiculous. Y'all remember that movie that that it was Seth Rogen? Not Seth Rogen. Maybe it was Seth
It
Rogen.
was.
What
It was
that
Seth
movie?
Rogen and James
They
Franco.
pulled it.
Yeah.
They pulled it from the theaters. It didn't even go to
Yeah.
theaters, right?
Yeah.
But that was that a different situation? Didn't that
They
legitimately?
made a crack about Kim Jong Un.
And then all
or
the
something,
cra- and then it
and
was
he basically
the-
said,
Was
"You
that
put this
ew?
movie out, and I'm gonna bomb you."
And then, but we watched. I thought they actually got the guy in the movie because he looked just like him to me. But let him talk, Piz. It's going to drive up ticket sales. That's all it's going to do. Let him talk.
Not for me.
Let him make these Facebook posts.
Jay.
My
Everybody's
wife
going
wouldn't
to
go
the theater.
see Dark Knight because of it, man. I had to wait till it came
Well,
out on video.
when I
Wow.
when I went to watch Dark Knight in the theater before the movie started, some theater employee came out and stood in front of us and goes, and pointed out, "There's one exit, there is the other exit." Like, and so that's a good reminder of, oh, that's right, that happened. That definitely makes me feel safe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It's just
That was-
it's messed up. It's messed up. Totally messed up.
Why
I've
that
seen
movie?
movies- I've seen regular movies in theaters where that kind of stuff wouldn't be out of the ordinary anyway. So whatever.
Yeah, but I mean, why weren't they? Todd Phillips had because somebody mentioned it straight up to Todd Phillips in like an interview, like, do you think that this is going to create problems? Is this going to incite people to commit crime? And he goes, no. Did John Wick 3? John Wick killed 2,000 people in that movie.
Well, it will
Did
now.
that incite anybody?
Well, it will now though, because the media's given it the attention that's going to draw out any nutbag who wants to use an excuse to be the guy that got on the news.
Yeah.
So now it absolutely will. But yeah, no, violence and the thing is, fiction is not reality, and I don't understand why in 2019 this is still a blurry line for some people.
I don't either. I don't either.
It's ridiculous. I mean, they went to town attacking the Rambo film for nothing in the film but what they projected onto the film.
They made it political, even though the movie's very apolitical, right?
It is. It's like if they were shuffling cards and being like, "Who will be the villain this time? Pick a card any time," and they picked Mexican cartels. But honestly, it's a film that shares every plot detail imaginable with Taken. Did we get upset about Albanians last time? No. So what is it? It's the public discourse. So they're projecting their own biases onto their film reviews, and it's annoying because you know what? It's not a great film, but it's a good film. And it's exactly what you think it is, and it fulfills everything it promises it will.
If the Joker movie were about a person of color, a trans person, or a woman, and they were driven to crime due to racism, sexism, or transphobia, the people who are trying to bury Joker would be championing the film. It would have a 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. If you had anything negative to say about it, you'd be listed. You'd be, fill in the blank. You'd be the troll, the racist, whatever. But because this movie doesn't seem to have any kind of progressive political agenda, and there's a white guy in the lead, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Don't see it.
But how shallow must your ego be that unless a film matches your political thoughts, you're going to attack it on a non-issue? How shaky how thin of ice do you have to be walking on? It's just ridiculous. I walk into plenty of films, watch plenty of films that have very different viewpoints than I do. I would say that the last two Purge movies are politically pretty much exactly the opposite of me. I'm a libertarian. I want most freedom as humanly possible. Those films seem to be suggesting that control is a good thing. But do I like those films? Damn right I like the films, because inside the world, the fictional world they exist, they're fun stories. Why can't people do this? It's not hard to look at fantasy as fantasy and reality as reality.
It's 95% of people can. It's the 5% of these reviewers that are the problem. I mean, would we be even talking about Joker? I guarantee Joker would have came and went, and no one would have ever even talked about it. That movie had like it was such a bizarre concept. They basically gave them. They were like, it's called the Joker, but go do whatever. And I think it had I wasn't even. It wasn't even on my radar. And then all of a sudden, all this controversy sparks up, and everyone's talking about it. And it's just stupid.
Yeah,
just stupid.
Yeah.
Well, I'm ready to see the Joker now. I can't wait. I'm serious. I'm going to see it. I'm so excited because I have no idea.
And I hope you enjoy it, sir.
I hope so too, because I like that guy. Joaquin Phoenix is his name. That name does not match what he looks like. Why do? Is he from?
Well, River Phoenix's brother, right? So I think their family were a little loopy.
Well, his name was Leaf. To begin with.
I'm telling you that. Trailers usually don't do a whole lot for me. I'm just like, okay, what's the name of this movie? Okay, got it. But I was watching that Joker trailer, guys. I'm telling you, I watched it. For me, I was like, I don't know what this is, but it does not look like a superhero movie whatsoever. I'm not going to expect anybody to fly or do anything. I can't wait. I want to see this because it just looks really dark.
At least they're trying something. Like I haven't liked a DC movie in forever. At least they're trying something.
Yeah.
Like take the property and give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I can't comment on that because
Which one?
Shazam?
No, I didn't see Shazam. The last one I watched, I unfortunately watched Aquaman, and that was a train wreck.
I actually like Shazam, believe it or not. So you may want to check it out.
I think I could get into Shazam because they went the comedy route.
Yeah.
Because Shazam is a pretty ridiculous concept to begin with, right? So, I think I could get behind that one, but I watched Aquaman and like it didn't even make any sense. I can follow just about any movie, and I turned to look at my wife at one point. I was like, I have no idea what's happening right now. like that doesn't happen very often to me. So I kind of, and I didn't even watch the sequel to, what was it? Sequel to Dawn of Justice. What was it? Justice League.
Justice League, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even
Justice
bother.
League. Ugh.
Yeah, and I have
You didn't miss
little
much.
to no hope for the Batman. So
I will. Whoa, everybody okay?
Yeah, never mind.
I'm gonna put this out there right now, and I'm gonna stand by it.
Uh-oh.
I predict that Robert Pattinson will go down as the greatest Batman ever. I said it.
you said it, but you're wrong. The words came out of your mouth, but history will not go that way. I have no idea how that's going to play out, unless they're playing him like Batman when he was a teenager before he got. I don't know. I don't know how this could work.
Oh goodness.
Jay the Stingray is a Val Kilmer fan.
Hey, don't talk shit about Val.
I'm not. I love
Batman
Waterworld.
Forever for life.
Well,
I
listen,
love Waterworld.
Val went to the danger zone.
Yeah, he did. There's a movie I'm looking forward to. Top Gun 2.
AKA Tom Cruise really wanted to fly a flip.
Exactly. He was like, I want somebody to pay me to fly a jet plane and jump out of it or something.
Exactly. Yeah. Any other movies you guys are looking forward to for the rest of this year? Can you guys name me 3 movies?
Let me take a
I'm
look at the
afraid to
list.
say one. I'm afraid to say one.
In the genre, we have Prey coming out. We have The Curse of Buckcut Road. We have Ghostbusters back in theaters for a single night on October 9th. We have Dead Center and limited release. We have Zombieland 2 Double Tap. We have Lighthouse on the 18th, and we have Countdown on the 25th, which is some kind of Blum production.
Oh.
That's just taking you through Halloween.
Okay.
I'm going to see probably only one of them. But
Wow.
What do we got
I
left
feel like
here?
Double Tap is like years too late.
no, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be huge.
Me
I don't think
too.
it'll do well.
Me
I
too.
think the audience is just waiting.
Yep.
I eat a lot of Twinkies. Ha ha ha. Bill Murray's still dead. Ha,
And
ha, ha.
I'm just so happy Emma Stone, even after winning the Oscar for Best Actress, she's in it. She's in it.
What did she win for?
La La Land.
Ah, okay. So I do know that.
Yeah, I didn't care for it either.
Well, guys,
I'm not seeing much of anything here. Knives Out. I kind of want to see Knives Out.
Knives Out, exactly. Knives Out.
I'd like to see. Crap, I've already forgotten the name. The Villains. I'd like to see Villains, but it's not going to be anywhere near a theater near me.
I think it streams November 1st.
Okay, that's cool. Pierce Nightshade asks, will Rambo Raff and B Movie Mike return to the factory? One of those two will be here next week for the Rob Zombies Halloween live commentary.
You'll just have to tune in to see who.
Yes, indeed. Yes, and one of those two will be here.
Do they get a refund if they don't show?
No refunds.
No refunds, no.
Wow, tough crowd.
Yeah, no
You can get credit.
We'll give you credit, yeah. Well, guys, I've covered pretty much everything that was on my list of stuff to cover. We've announced the first month of season 8 of the Sausage Factory, which is it's a rocky road. It's a rocky road, but you know, we'll hopefully make it through. I don't know, but yeah, next week, October 3rd, beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Rob Zombies Halloween live commentary.
Ouch.
This disc has one week to live before it is destroyed. About this time in a week.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate all the love you guys showed us in the chat tonight. It's good to be back, and yeah, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for keeping it lively in the chat, and thanks to all you guys for joining me tonight, talking movies. And we will return next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Sausage Factory YouTube channel. You guys be there. Have a great week. We'll see you next time. Peace.